MoJo 50. The question isn't
who's going to let us.
The question is who's going to stop us? Adjust your mojo now. Thank you.
The mothership has landed.
Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
Tired of you acting like I'm old.
You're old.
No, I'm not.
You're old.
I was born in the 70s.
You were?
70s era.
Okay.
I was in the 70s era I was born.
All right.
I mean, 69 is 70s era, right? I mean, what do you
No,
tell me? It's 60s era?
It's the 60s or the 60s.
Am I closer to the 70s or the 60s when I was born in 69?
You'd be closer to the 60s.
No, I'm not. The 60s are 60 through 69. The 70s are 70 through 79. I'm 70s era. I'm a lot younger than you're trying to make me.
No, wait just a minute.
You could shave 10 years off of
you
that.
know, no,
I'm 70s era.
No, you are not 70s era. If you were born in 69, you're a child of the 60s.
I'm 70s era. How much of the 60s do I remember? None. Zero. Zip. How much of the 70s? About
because
half
of all
it.
the drugs, though.
That is true. But
time.
still, I remember about half of the 70s, and I don't remember any of the 60s. So doesn't that put me more in the 70s? You're trying to make me old, and I'm 70s era.
You're old.
You know, this works for you, too. What year were you
born?
born?
Well, then, yes, you're 70s era.
What year were you born?
I was born in 64.
64. Okay. So you're 50s era. You're closer
I'm
to
not
the
50s era.
You're 64.
I'd be the 60s era
Are you
then.
more closer to the 60s or the 50s?
The 6th. Wait a minute.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Damn it.
You're closer to the 50s.
See,
so
I
I'm
got 66, Brad. So I'm on
you're
the
closer
I'm
to
on
the
the
70s era.
I'm 70s era too. I remember Abba.
Me and guy next to me
That's
are
Ron.
of who?
Ron,
we're
Thank
70s era. You're 50s era.
I'm not 50s era. I don't even remember Jan and Dean.
Listen, if Nathan Phillips is a Vietnam veteran, then I'm 1970s, born 70s era. I was born in the 70s era. If he can pull it off, I can pull it
If
off.
X, then Y. All right, fine.
I'm just saying it's working for him in the media.
If those
they're
are the new
still
rules.
calling him a Vietnam veteran.
Yes, he's not.
Now, while he is a veteran,
Yes.
I will give him that.
Yes.
And I appreciate his
Absolutely.
service, absolutely. Yes. But if you start claiming you're a Vietnam veteran, isn't that stolen valor?
Yes. If you were,
If I say to somebody, so and so is a Vietnam veteran, are they thinking, oh, they served during part of the time of the Vietnam War? No.
In Vietnam.
You're served in Vietnam.
Generally speaking.
If I say someone is a World War II veteran, that means you served
in World War II.
war.
Yes.
You were there.
Yes.
And he constantly does it. Well, I was a Vietnam era veteran.
It's the same argument with George W. in the Coast Guard.
Okay. National Guard.
Was it Coast Guard?
He was National Guard.
Okay, same thing.
Yeah.
That's not really service. Remember that?
No, that is service.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
The National Guard is.
Yes,
and so
absolutely
is the Coast
it is.
Guard.
But they
military.
tried to say he was evading fighting by being in the National Guard.
But if Nathan Phillips could say he is a Vietnam era veteran, where does it stop? I'll tell you what. If I'm a Vietnam veteran today, I am enraged. The Vietnam veterans got one of the rawest deals in American history.
Oh, yes, they did.
Treated
absolutely
maybe worse than anybody else who has served. And trust me, this country has a long history of not appreciating and screwing over its veterans. And I would say alone stands the Vietnam veterans. Here are guys who, during an unpopular war,
boy was it,
still did their job. Still said, I am going to serve as directed by my commander-in-chief, even though it's unpopular. Even though when I got back home, they were taking off their uniforms quite often so people didn't know, just so they didn't get hassled. They did the unpopular thing. I mean, it wasn't easy, I'm sure, in World War II. I mean, you're going worlds away. The world was much bigger back then.
Absolutely, but they were appreciated.
And there's the slight difference there.
They were welcomed home.
At least you knew when you got home. Listen, following World War II, I mean, that was the good war. America triumphant. We emerge as a world power. Alone stands it. And those people, after World War II, when they said, I served, I mean, that was a distinction. You were honored.
Remember the picture in Times Square?
Right.
I mean, that was almost romanticized.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 years after World War II, the average person going for a job, World War II veteran, where'd you serve, you know? You said whatever. I mean, you apply for a loan, they're going to call people out from behind the come over here and meet Steve. Steve served. Look at it. He was over in, Okinawa, whatever,
and
right?
You have all the GI tract homes that were built.
Yes, of course.
They were taken care of.
5 years after Vietnam.
Oh.
How are those veterans treated?
They were kicked and spit upon and called names. And they were treated horribly.
This is Nathan Phillips being the ultimate victim here. This is what's going on. The ultimate victim. It's not enough for him to say, hey, pay attention to me because I'm Native American and somehow getting a raw deal. No, I am a victim having served and abused by the public because Vietnam veterans were so poorly treated.
Which played right into the narrative.
Right.
Right into
How is this different than playing victim on anything else where people play victim in society? Race, religion, whatever.
It's not. It's the same thing. Yeah, and he does it because it works.
It works. Bottom line. He fundraises, and that's bad enough. But when the media is culpable in this, and they know.
They cherry-picked the still frame from the video, and you can do that in any video. 30 frames a second of video, there is a frame, I guarantee you, that makes anybody and everybody look bad.
They have been on a witch hunt to get Donald Trump's medical records, to talk to the doctor. Remember the daughters of the doctor who may have treated Donald Trump that gave him a deferment from Vietnam?
Yes.
Remember, we did a story a month ago.
Yep, that's right.
2 daughters of a doctor who may have been Donald Trump's doctor, and it may have been the one who gave him the deferment based on something that wasn't accurate because his landlord was Fred Trump, Donald Trump's father, may have done all of this. Those daughters think that's what happened.
Yes.
And the news carried it like breaking news, proof, smoking gun, Donald Trump did not serve his country. Now, the truth is he probably didn't. He probably did song and dance to get out of it, as a lot of people did.
It's possible.
Right. I've gotten to the point where, excuse me, when it comes to Vietnam, those people that were the draft dodgers, I have become less critical of those people, the draft dodgers.
Right.
And more grateful and respectful of those who did serve. So the entire scale has shifted with both the people who, I am less critical of those people because of the way the world was at that point. It wasn't just about you're afraid to go and shot and killed. It's the politicized war. It's the media. I mean, it was tried in the media too. Look at the baby killers and all that stuff, right? So while I don't think it was right, I am less critical because I'm not them. I wasn't there, and it was pretty awful.
Right.
But at the same time, I've got to give more credit to those people. You see what I mean? The scale has to move on both ends.
Yes, absolutely. And those were the guys. I remember I was in Chicago once, and a Vietnam vet was walking down the street. I know it because he said it, because there was a guy begging.
Yeah.
With a uniform on, and boy, he took him to task.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pissed.
So those people who did, I look at and I say, wow, you did all of this. You went knowing and still served and whatever. So I have more respect for them, and I'm a little less critical of those who. So when it comes to the president, I'm sure he did dodge. His dad had money. You're going to work every angle you can. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't like it. I don't have a great deal of respect for him about it, but okay, it is what it is. But to say the doctor who's long dead, his daughters who were not there, if you talk to the doctor, it doesn't mean. If a doctor comes out and says, I remember years ago, I treated him and said it was bone spurs and gave him a deferment, it doesn't mean it's true. It's an allegation. It's an accusation. It could be he said. Show me proof.
Right.
But then when you say his daughters, even though he's been dead 15 years, this is the witch hunt they're on about Donald Trump, about not serving in Vietnam. Yet there's a man who they are fawning over still, even though they know that video and what happened over the weekend is not accurate, fawning over this guy, knowing he did not serve. Which is worse, I ask you? Dodging a draft, possibly dodging a draft for an unpopular war.
Right.
Or saying you were there and getting all of the credit and respect and admiration now that comes from that. and playing victimhood when you were not.
I'll even give you both of them equally bad.
Okay, fine.
How
come they're not running with this?
Because it doesn't suit the narrative. It doesn't It doesn't suit the story that they have crafted around that image of that kid with the Indian there.
Imagine, and I cannot put my head or wrap my head around serving in war at all.
Oh, good grief, no.
I mean, I see those movies and I read stories, and
we talked to Mark yesterday.
Oh, guy shot 27 times.
Navy SEAL.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
if you didn't see that, by the way, we're doing bonus material from the SHOT Show every day for 2 hours each afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. Coming up on February 4th, Sam Sorbo will begin in that time slot. But this week, it's all interviews live from SHOT Show in Vegas. Go back and listen to yesterday's. We had a bunch of interviews, and it's amazing. We'll have more today, 3 to 5. But, yeah, we listened to it shot 27 times. So I can't imagine what that's like. But depending on how you feel, what's going through your noggin, how you survive that, imagine being that Vietnam veteran. And by the way, a lot of the 22, real number more like 75 veterans who kill themselves a day, a lot of those are Vietnam-era veterans.
Right.
Imagine being one of those guys that knows how you were treated. And finally, in today's world, you're getting a little more respect.
Right.
People at least go, wow, those guys were treated poorly. Your whole life saying, that bastard dodged the draft, looking down on those people and knowing that. Okay, I give you that. And you see this guy that the media's fawning over while actual Vietnam veterans are out on the street homeless and killing themselves. Where the hell is CNN and ABC and NBC today? Where is the New York Times? Where is the Washington Post saying we are carrying front page headlines on that 22 to 70 veterans, many of them Vietnam veterans, who kill themselves? Instead, they want to pander to this guy whose whole game is to confront people, so it becomes controversial, goes viral, and makes money while claiming he is a Vietnam veteran, and he is not. How dare you? The media carrying water for it? You're part of the stolen valor now.
It's disgusting.
Think about that. They are the platform for him to steal valor.
Yeah, they are allowing it. Not only are they allowing it, they're facilitating it.
This morning, the Today Show is airing an interview with Sandman, Nick Sandman, the kid from the high school, the MAGA kid who stood there. And we've got some of that to play for you as well. But I have a little clip of them leading up to the story because yesterday they released a clip of it. They didn't have the whole interview out yet.
Right.
It'll be posted probably soon. But listen to the news story yesterday from Today where they report on this. They go to the guy and he's telling the story. So this is they start in the studio with the anchors and they go to the reporter who's sitting there and he has a little recorder. But listen to the buzz phrases, even when talking about Nathan Phillips and still calling him a Vietnam veteran. Even Nick is careful to go, well, Nate. Nate is careful to say, Nathan Phillips is careful to say, well, I'm a Vietnam era veteran.
Yes. Yeah, he knows the words matter. And
right. I got caught up in it. I thought he was a Vietnam veteran. Listen to this. Ready? Here we go.
For the March for Life, and they've been widely condemned for what many see as racist behavior. Now they're facing possible expulsion from school. But what
many see as racist behavior. Okay, I'll give you that, but you're happy to go ahead and keep that narrative. They also didn't say what many also don't think racist behavior when you see the rest of it. But okay, let's continue.
They're pushing back, saying there's more than one side to the story.
Listen.
This video near the Lincoln Memorial igniting outrage. Native American Nathan Phillips, a Vietnam veteran, beating
a Vietnam veteran. Native American Nathan Phillips, comma, a Vietnam veteran.
This video near the Lincoln Memorial igniting outrage. Native American Nathan Phillips, a Vietnam veteran, beating a drum, face to face with high school.
Today Show, NBC. You are helping to steal the valor.
And putting this kid in physical danger because there have now been death threats.
They shut the school down today.
Yes, they did.
NBC, you're doing this. Under the guise of, well, we're being objective and journalists. No.
They don't
You're
care.
reporting the facts wrong. We've said before, there are times when facts aren't really facts. You can't just lay them. Is that yellow? Yes. You're taking it out of context, though. It's not as yellow as this. You understand? There's perspective. There's viewpoints. There's context at times. This is not context. Vietnam veteran is a lie. There are some things that you could look at and say that is a fact. Some things we have even said is opinion and context. This is not one of those. Is he a what we consider Vietnam veteran? No.
Not according to the information we have.
Right. When you say Vietnam veteran, it means you served in Vietnam.
Yes. I would say that is a generally accepted definition.
Combat veteran, really, is
yes,
what they're saying.
Combat.
Now, you may extend that umbrella to not direct combat. You were in Vietnam. You weren't necessarily out in the jungle. Combat.
Yes,
you were on a base in Vietnam.
But I don't believe, from what I've read, he was never deployed to Vietnam.
They just called him a Vietnam veteran.
Yes, no.
You're part of the campaign of stolen valor, and it should infuriate all Americans and certainly infuriate Vietnam veterans.
This falls under the umbrella, though, of remember when Ocasio-Cortez said, I didn't say her full name, so I don't get this drum, that we're more concerned about being factually correct than morally correct. Remember that?
It's incredible.
It's figuratively means literally now.
Shouldn't we at least hold Nathan Phillips the same standard that we're holding Nick Sandmann?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, we should.
So
we
just
won't,
just
but we
remember,
should.
just remember, when the media reports this year on my birthday, you know that I am turning a round plateau number, which usually gets a little extra note. That number is 40.
No, it's not.
Because I am
40.
closer.
Yeah.
I am a 70s era baby.
See, now
it's not what AARP says, Doc.
Right.
They'll let you know how old you are.
They
momentarily.
will. 10 years from now, guy next to me, they will absolutely. They will do that.
It's all, and again, it's the new narrative taking over. It's the new definition. It's the new vernacular. It's language being tweaked and twisted.
It's not enough now, Brad. It's not enough to call the media out for their inaccuracies, their bias, their leftist agenda. It's not enough. They have now crossed into stolen valor.
They have. They've given you the perspective that they want you to have about this particular instance.
Right.
And for it to be causing the death threats to this kid, he didn't do anything.
No.
He didn't do anything wrong.
And I've even laid out yesterday, blow by blow, every party that was involved. And I even said of those kids, which I think is pretty accurate, you know what? Some of them were pretty douchey.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
But they're 16-year-old kids.
Exactly. Now, Nick Sandmann, I haven't seen every angle, but from what I've seen of him, and I've watched a lot of the footage, he stood there first stone-faced, then second with a smirk. That's what he did after Nathan Phillips walked up to him.
What
now,
happens
some of
when
the
you're
other
nervous?
Some of the other kids were dancing about and may have been going, hi, how are you, giving you that stuff or whatever. Even that is not, like you said, over the top. They're 16-year-old kids. They need slapped in the back of that. But I did criticize them for some of that.
Exactly.
I'm not just holding water for everybody. Oh, nobody did anything wrong here on this. No, they did, but not Nick.
Do you know he did that on purpose? He did it to diffuse the situation.
Yeah, he even told some of them to knock it off.
He said, all I could do was stand there and smile. He says, I didn't want to create an issue.
Right.
I didn't want to give some indication that he said it was just
he was likely extremely nervous.
Oh, I'm sure he was. The cameras were all in his face.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you served, right?
I did.
What years?
I served from 84 to 96.
Wow. I didn't realize we have a Gulf War era veteran here.
Gulf War era.
Gulf War era. So you were over in the Middle East?
I was not, actually.
So you were a Gulf War era veteran. Wow, that's Cold War era and Gulf War era. Wow.
You know what they say? Nobody can pack a parachute like Ron.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He served during the Cold War.
I did serve.
Were you a combat veteran during the Cold War?
I was not.
So we'll just say you're a Cold War and Gulf War era veteran. That's
I think he made
powerful.
several threatening phone calls. I think that was combative.
Right.
I think that was very combative.
Nice.
Crazy. That's
It is nuts. It's the language change.
I gotta write this. What is his name?
Ron Phillips.
Ron.
It's only
Wait a
three
minute. Ron what?
Phillips.
Ron what?
Phillips.
No, not Nathan. Not Nate.
Oh, my goodness.
Where are you reeling your people in here?
Oh,
Right?
man, here we go.
Wow.
You know,
Are you Native American?
I am not.
You don't have any Native American in you.
would you like to? I am
No.
1/8.
No.
I feel qualified.
So
Are
maybe
you
you're,
1/8?
maybe you're a
1/8?
Phillipses by marriage.
no, not Phillips by marriage.
Maybe he's a Phillipses by marriage. I'm just saying
Oh.
you got to reel
Possible.
your people in. You know what? Wow, he's broaching on being
See?
a part of the stolen valor there. That's you're stealing.
If you're not part of the solution,
you're part of the problem.
Part of the problem.
That's how you get that going there.
I
So
think that's fairly evident. Just look at look at the smirk on his face.
I know. Look at him smirking just like that, Nixon. Where's your
Yes.
pointy hat? See?
Right?
This is me shutting up now.
Yeah.
What'd you do last night?
Yeah, what do you guys say? Those records are sealed.
Did you have dinner last night?
I
have
did.
pictures.
What'd you have for dinner?
We had Margaritaville.
Okay, and what kind? Give us what kind
Oh,
of meal?
what did I have?
Yeah, specifically.
Not
a tough
I had the
question.
lava shrimp.
Lava shrimp.
I had nachos.
Nachos. Uh-huh.
What else did we have? Oh, jambalaya.
See what's going on there? Cultural appropriation of
absolutely.
multiple cuisines.
Oh,
You're cultural appropriating that.
From
Wow.
the Cajuns. From the Cajuns.
This is shocking.
Uh-huh.
We're looking for solutions.
It answers a lot of questions though when you think about
Of
it. when it
course,
comes to raw.
yeah. Wow. All right. I'm just looking for a solution. I know one place you can get solutions, and that's TRAGuns.com.
Oh, yes.
TRA Guns. I
Do you
mean,
know
lots
the,
of solutions
the
there.
best shirt yesterday I saw here
I
at
can't say the one. Can I say it? I think I could say it. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead and say it.
I will. Tell me yours
The
first.
best shirt I saw back of this guy. I went up and took a picture. I asked the guy on the back of his shirt, if you don't have a gun when you need one, you may never need one again.
That's a great. There's a lot of cool shirts here. Too,
Yes, there are.
That's actually fantastic.
Is that not the
Yeah.
best in the world? I mean, but remember the one when we talked to yesterday, the from Ladies Hunting.
LadiesHunting.com.
What was her name on this side?
Candy, and I don't remember the other lady's name.
Yeah, it was. Remember what she said? I'd never shot a gun before,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to the ladies hunting camp, and she said once wow, that was fun.
That's a good interview, and they make great points.
It is, and a lot of people who've never shot a gun once they shoot
She's the
one.
one.
It's like
She's the
whoa.
traditional bow lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
snap.
Yes,
You know, that's true for a lot of guys, though, too. If you've never fired a gun, or even if you fired, like, a rifle when you were a kid or something like that, it was a long time ago, you go out and shoot some handguns, you do that or
Oh,
whatever.
it's-
You instantly, if you're with, good people,
Yes.
you gain more respect and you have less fear. And
Yes, you
it's
do.
It's a whole mind shift instantly.
Yeah.
Within seconds, you get it.
it's like anything else that I mean, a table saw.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm scared of that. Well, let me show you how to use it, and then, whoa, you can do all kinds of things with this.
And,
yes,
and you also, you realize it is a tool.
That-
It is a valuable tool.
all it is. A
Dude,
gun
people
is a
were
tool.
raised to be afraid of guns.
Absolutely.
Stunningly.
Instead of educating, being educated about them, they're afraid of them.
Yeah.
You know why guns were invented?
To make money.
Because they were needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a
Samuel Colt
tool.
and his little revolver.
Right. It's a tool. So necessity is the mother of invention. People don't generally invent things that you don't need on
No.
some level.
Right.
Right? Occasionally they will. Maybe that need is, I'll make money. But it's a need.
It's a tool that became a deterrent.
Exactly. And,
That's-
st-
I
and,
mean, that's-
and still a tool. I mean, think about all the different ways you use them. But again, you're right. People were raised purposely. There was an agenda there to make people afraid of guns.
The first
absolutely.
deterrents, sticks and rocks.
Yep.
As a caveman, something came at you, you picked up a stick or
and,
a rock.
And by the way, that's why they were invented.
rocks and sticks or
Yes.
cavemen?
No,
Yes,
well,
rock-
all
yes.
of them, right?
Yes,
Sticks and rocks.
And the caveman thought, if I can throw this, imagine if I had a revolver and I could shoot this rock
That's right.
faster at the tiger.
And that's the reason the inventions continue. It gets refined. You've got accoutrements, other types of firearms. This is
Yes.
the whole point of it.
Yes.
TRA Guns has been a proud sponsor of this broadcast for a couple of months. Great people. I think they may join us later today. We're at SHOT Show in Las Vegas at the Sands Expo Center. If you get a chance today, please go to TRAGuns.com and check out all the cool firearms they have.
It's the second best way of seeing a gun. The best way, of course, being here at SHOT Show.
Right,
Be
of
able
course.
to pick them up and touch them. But at TRA Guns, you can sit there and spin them around in 3D space and look at every single inch.
Yep. So
is
the shirt I saw yesterday, and Matt Locke saw it too, and we were cracking up, and I'm like, I really need to picture this. And then I was like, it said vagina enthusiast. And I was like, wow, that's edgy.
That's supporting women's rights, I believe.
Of course, that's exactly what it is. I think he was a gynecologist.
I do as well.
I recommend if you have one of those, not wearing it in church.
Promoting the 4 F's: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
Thanks for stopping by the Next News Network, one of the online news channels at the Washington Post and the New York.
The Daily Mojo.
Live from SHOT Show, Sands Expo Center in Las Vegas. Thanks so much for joining us. You want to join the broadcast? Do so via communiques at social media, of course, on Twitter, Facebook, and the MeWe chat room where it gets really crazy.
Salting Duck brought up a great point, which is unusual. Did no one but me notice that the drum in the face kid has an underbite? It makes even a sincere smile look like a smirk. Kid is basically being attacked for a jaw condition he was born with. Thank you.
He's handicapped.
Yes, handy-capable.
I don't think he's capable because he's white.
Yeah, that's true.
This whole spectacle, my God, seriously, people, stop for a second. Stop and think about what we've been discussing with this. Stop for a moment and really think. Take the whole thing, right? Take it all in as much as you can in one thought. Pull back from 10,000 to 10,000 feet and look at the bogusness of this whole discussion and say, is this what we are? Is this who you want us to be as a country? We're not better than this. We're not better than a Native American this many years later when every opportunity is afforded everybody in this country. And if you are of certain religions, race, genders, whatever, you get special treatment and affirmative action. At this point, a guy who's a Native American, every opportunity afforded him, continues to play the victim, and then steals the valor of Vietnam veterans. A kids group out there chanting school chants and taking part in the festivities, trying to drown out the crazy people spewing hatred out there.
Right.
And the media picks up and runs with us that we're even discussing this is nuts. And the one way out of it, there's one way. Stop it.
Stop it.
Think about that.
Yeah,
That's it.
I know.
I mean,
only way to not be offended
is to not be offended. That's the only way out.
Yeah.
We just keep digging deeper down into all of this, finding nuanced reasons to be pissed off at somebody else. Doesn't matter the side. And then you take their nuanced reason that they're pissed off and you destroy it. You bend and you find another little angle and stop it. Stop being offended. Go about your business.
To quote them, let me just suggest, is this the best a man can get? Is it?
Ooh, that was
Is
good.
it? Let's think about that.
I'm sure today Gillette's going to have a whole campaign
Oh,
out
yes.
there with,
Smirking.
with Nathan Phillips out there. Is this the best
This
man?
poor kid. I mean, it's unless something drastically changes, poor kid's going to have to go into witness protection somewhere.
Yeah,
16 years old. You're a dumbass when you're 16, in case you didn't know. Most. Myself included. You especially.
Well, Nathan Phillips. Wait, what? What'd you say? Talking to me?
Nope. We'll just move on.
Nathan Phillips suggested the kid go to cultural appropriation classes or something like that.
For what? He didn't culturally
Well,
appropriate.
not culture, but sensitivity, cultural sensitivity.
Oh, give me a.
He needs to be more sensitive about it. Does he know how sensitive the kid is? Again, this kid, even if you're going to say some of the kids had issues or whatever else, this kid, Nick Sandman, was not bad in this. He just stood there and at worst smirked.
Yes, at worst. At worst. And
The other kids, like I said, you can argue they were being, hi, how are you, dancing around or whatever that stuff is.
Right.
But that wasn't him, right?
Yeah, and some Jamie over on Facebook, I felt it was a nervous smirk. I think that, I mean, you're standing there again. The cameras are going, the guy's in your face. His cheeks were flushed.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
But let's say,
it's crazy.
Let's say it wasn't a nervous smirk.
Let's say he did it intentionally.
Let's say he absolutely was doing it intentionally.
Slap him on the back of the head. Stop it.
Even that is really low.
Yes.
Remember.
It's annoying. If it was indeed an intentional smirk, it's annoying at best.
Look at That's
because
the
stuff you slap out of kids.
Look at the tit for tat.
That's a club here down the street, I believe.
Well, half of the name is.
Right.
Here's the kids. They're out there. They're standing there. They're trying to drown out these other kids, whatever. And in the middle of it, it wasn't even a march. It was 3 Native Americans, Indians.
Right.
3 Indians march up. He's banging a drum in the kid's face. I mean, it's just inches from it, and he's banging, and the kid's standing there, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, you're standing there. You know the cameras are on you. You know you can't do anything. You're trying to be good or whatever. And the guy just keeps standing there, and you're like, can we just wrap this up? And you might want to get a shot in there, right? And you have no recourse. So what do? You bait him with a smirk.
Yeah.
So who's the worst there? His response was trying to bait him and mock him smirk. While he walked up with the drum and whatever. A very mild response.
Yes, yeah. It was.
Now, again, some of the other kids are dancing around doing the,
peaceful protest.
Yeah, me smoking peace pipe, doing all that stuff, whatever. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're being douchey. Those are the ones you smack. This kid shouldn't be he's become the face of what all of the kids did out there.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be even.
He was unfortunately standing. Boy, he wishes that guy had never seen him. He did. He actually said in the part of that interview, I wish I could have taken it all back. I wish it never happened.
Right.
Which, yeah, that's.
Now, here's the good news. Likely, this kid will end up in a better situation. He's going to go through hell. He's going to keep going through hell for another couple of weeks. Part of this will follow him around for a long time, but in some ways he will end up, if he can survive it, looks like he's doing okay, better off. He'll end up with getting some opportunities because of it that normally he wouldn't.
Maybe he'll grow up to kick David Hogg's ass.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be awesome? I have just a touch more I want to play from the reports from NBC and others about it, because they also have a clip of the Today Show interview. Again, the whole thing has not been published yet, but we have a clip of that as part of this news package. Right. And then also you can hear some comments from Nathan Phillips, Ron's cousin. So here we go.
Veteran Nathan Phillips. 'Phillips. 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 ' you owe anybody an apology? Do you see your own fault?
Wow, what an amazing newswoman. Wow, did they focus test that question? Was that written by producers? She is such a goon. She is
cute though. I like.
She is.
I like that. I like the way
Stop it.
she's pretty.
You have lost your mind.
Savannah Guthrie's cute.
He sat down exclusively with today's Savannah Guthrie.
Do you feel that you owe anybody an apology? Do you see your own fault in any way?
Okay, do you realize what a BS question that is?
It's a softball.
No, it's not. It's actually a trap. Think about this. She open-ends it, and it's so broad that no matter what you say, you're in trouble. If I say, Brad, with regard to that incident over the weekend, you're standing there, the guy comes up to you, did you do anything wrong? Okay, you could say, well, maybe I should have, whatever. But if I say, Brad, do you see anything you've done wrong? Do you catch any of your own flaws? Do you mean specifically for the weekend or ever? In other words, if the kid says, no, I don't. I didn't do anything wrong. The question was so broad. Oh, you've never done anything wrong?
Right. Actually, I was thinking
no matter what he responds, the question is going to be from somebody on the left that gotcha.
I was thinking that she was interviewing the Phillips guy.
Oh, no.
Sorry, yeah.
This is the kid.
You're right.
Listen to how so broad.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have said, when you were out there and he came up, did you do anything wrong?
Right.
Is there anything you feel bad? Whatever.
Right.
Nope. Listen to how so many words. Listen to this question again.
Phillips. He sat down exclusively with today's Savannah Guthrie.
Do you feel that you owe anybody an apology?
Anybody an apology?
Right, yeah. No,
you mean
you're
ever?
right.
Well, I stole a candy bar 4 years ago.
Do you see your own fault
2 questions.
Yeah.
Do you see your own faults?
in any way?
In any way. 3. Your own faults.
Right.
You mean for this incident? Your own faults? Faults. Not actions, faults. You don't have any faults?
Right.
I'm too aggressive. I'm not aggressive enough. I talk with my mouth full. What?
All of those questions.
What? Yeah.
I started saying all of those questions are leading him to an answer she wants him to have.
Yes.
She's an attorney.
Yeah.
Savannah Guthrie is?
I believe so. She went to law. I believe she did. I'll
may have,
double check. But if that's the case, they teach you to do
Right,
that.
She's talking to a 16-year-old and she's going, you're sorry, right? That's basically what she's doing.
It's because she knows whatever if he says anything like, well, maybe I shouldn't have, see, he's guilty, and that's what they run with, which validates this Nathan Phillips.
She's an attorney.
Okay, if he says nothing, like, no, I'm not sorry. Oh, you've never done anything wrong. Depending upon how he says it, it is bear trap.
Right.
This is what this is. Here's his answer.
Standing there, I had every right to do so. My position is that I was not disrespectful to Mr. Phillips. I respect him. I'd like to talk to him. I mean, in hindsight, I wish we could have walked away and avoided the whole thing.
A mature answer that absolutely was planned and practiced about 400 times.
And delivered quite well.
Now, it's sad he has to do that, but he has to do that.
Yes.
Right? What is it? My position is I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, you were, right? And then he goes, I didn't do anything wrong. I was not disrespectful. This is the game, right? Before they go there. 2, who was I not disrespectful to? That guy, Nathan Phillips. Who was I not disrespectful to? Mr. Phillips, right?
Yes.
It's Mr. You're showing all the respect.
Yes.
And then finally, I wish, even though I didn't do anything wrong, things could have been different.
Right.
So coached.
Yeah.
So coached. Not that I don't understand it, of course.
Well, you'd be an idiot not to be coached as a 16-year-old kid going on to be interviewed by an attorney and a reporter from NBC.
Do you know how I would have loved that? Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. I would have
Yeah.
loved that when I was that age. What's up, Savannah?
It was a different world then.
What's up?
They used film then.
I know.
Yeah.
This is Doc Thompson being interviewed.
There would be no sound.
Covington Catholic High School student.
Back when I was interviewed on the news, it wasn't a talkie. There's music.
Wearing Make America Great Again hats were in D.C. last week for the March for Life.
I was afraid. I felt threatened because when we were there,
He was afraid. He
What?
felt threatened.
Okay, and this is Nathan
This
Phillips
is Nathan
talking.
Phillips now. This
He
guy's
was
cousin.
afraid of what?
He was afraid.
That
he felt
kid?
Well,
I've been through Vietnam. I've been through the Vietnam era. Sorry. I've been through the Vietnam era, but I was afraid.
but I was afraid of kids that were chanting. I thought, oh my gosh, that is gold.
I
was having flashbacks.
Remember, he felt threatened when he was the aggressor. Forget
Right.
everything
He
else.
was. He
Forget
was.
everything else. He and the others snaked their way across the mall into the middle of the scene where the one guys were shouting at the kids and then they tried to drown him out, and walked up, not to those guys, walked up to the 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, stood in his face, banging a drum, and he felt afraid. The Vietnam-era veteran.
That's correct.
What do you want to
You don't understand.
Yeah.
The Viet Cong, nothing. I was being shot up in rice paddies, and it was nothing to me standing on the mall while a kid smiled at me. It was nothing. You don't know the danger in a smile. Sure, you can shoot me, I could die from that, but you know what could happen with a smile?
Oh.
Exactly. You don't know because you weren't there.
Paula Abdul smiled at me once. I know what that did.
Oh,
right.
snap.
And
I'm
we
going
were
to tell
in front
you.
of them.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I was going to, if the guy standing there beating a drum like that in my face, that's aggressive toward me.
Why do you think they called them war drums?
I mean.
Thank you.
He was trying to provoke him. There's no doubt in my mind.
War drums
and the kid,
are very.
The kid did better than I would have.
The Indians used to that you'd hear the war drums beating in the distance. It was psychological.
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
I think I am. I'm
March for Life.
I was afraid. I felt threatened because when we were there and we were in front of them, they surrounded us.
Have you ever been surrounded by a pack of 16-year-olds? Yeah. Not girls, boys.
No, I will say this. Yes, that can be threatening. I mean, there were a lot of kids out there, and they surrounded you. Here's the thing. Do you honestly believe that the kids would attack you because they surrounded you? If he had stopped the banging of the drum and put it down and said, hey, guys, we're just going to go walk out, you think they would have, oh, no, you're not. Of course not. Nothing would have happened.
He knew the cameras
And
were there.
remember, although they eventually surrounded him, he did kind of push through the crowd.
Well, it was scary for him when he did it, though.
I see.
He took his life in his hands.
And so brave,
with every
so
step.
brave.
Yes.
It was just like them coming out of the rice paddies, the Viet Cong.
But after more videos emerged, defenders of the students say there was a rush to judgment. Do you think the students did anything wrong?
This is just a guy in the street he's interviewing.
A student whose parents didn't want his face shown told NBC affiliate WLWT his classmates were using their school chants, approved by chaperones, to drown out insults from another group of protesters.
Oh, so not only were they chanting, I knew they were chanting school stuff, we had talked about that, whatever, but these are official approved chants or whatever. Okay. And they were just chanting it to drown that out. Okay.
Are we not supposed to teach our kids, if this is the future, if protests are the future, are we not supposed to teach kids how to protest?
Not just that, Brad, but who were they drowning out? And what were those guys saying? Were the guys that they were trying to drown out saying, yay, Trump, or no. I hate Trump? Yes. No. They were actually saying racist and offensive things that the left even considers racist. Mm-hmm. The state is considered racist, and they were drowning out them. Weren't they then doing something good?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Okay. What is Nathan Phillips' response to that?
Identified as Black Hebrew Israelites.
Listen. There we go, listen.
But the chants continued when Phillips entered the picture, saying he was trying to intervene.
There was 3 Native American people there. One of them was jumping up and down, so our guys start jumping up and down, clapping. We're dancing with him.
School chants should be in school.
There it is. School chants should be in school, Nathan Phillips said.
Wow, should I say this?
Sure.
Then shouldn't Native American chants be on the reservation?
Shouldn't that
by that definition?
Shouldn't the banging of the drum be on a reservation?
That's that by definition. If we're going by his rules, then can I not turn that around and say that?
When they asked him that question, he had nowhere to go. He knows it's crap. It's a school chant. What do you mean? It belongs at school. So what should they have been chanting? Nothing. Should they have just been quiet? Right. And like you said, weren't you doing things that?
Right.
Okay.
That's as nonsensical.
School chants should be in school. And this wasn't school.
There it is.
He did form it as a question. It's your school chant should be in
school? Is that going to play with you? Is that right? Is that the right answer?
That's plausible deniability.
Right.
I was asking the question.
Can I phone a friend for this answer? Because this one's going to be, is it multiple choice? Is that the one?
How much is this guy drummed up, literally?
Is there a crowdfunding page? I'm sure there's 4 of them.
This is the way he makes his money, right? This is the way he goes out and gets cash for his cause.
And obviously he does not care about doing the right thing because he has stolen valor. So
Today, Native Americans protested in Covington, and even President Trump weighed in, calling the students symbols of fake news and how evil it can be. But Phillips says the students should accept responsibility for their actions.
The student should. Brad's ready to go. Whoop whoop. He's getting ready.
Wait a minute. The kid did accept responsibility for his actions,
which was nothing. That's the point.
Right.
That's my point. Is that he did not react like the news.
We would have.
Like I would have. I'll tell you that right now. But the news is trying to make something out of nothing.
Take responsibility.
Do you
for
want to
their
know what that
actions.
means?
Again, it was provoked. There's no doubt about it.
Here's what that means.
Okay.
You should go through some kind of sensitivity training, cultural education of some kind.
Thank you.
Makes you want to slap him across the face. Say, is that sensitive?
No.
Does that hurt? Are you sensitive there?
Okay, it's a do-over. Everybody back to the mall. Take your places.
Wow.
Look, that image right there that's on your computer screen, Nathan Phillips needs to go through personal space training.
Yes.
He's all up in that kid's face. I'm telling you, he was trying to provoke a response, and that kid did exactly what he needed to do.
He's a close talker is what he is. He's a close drum player.
Oh.
You're right. Personal space training, that is
Please
very
have a
good.
breath mint.
Police here are on high alert after receiving threats against the students. The diocese had initially said they could face expulsion. Now it says a third-party investigation will begin this week.
Okay, the school knows. The school knows, and thank God the school is standing with the kids now.
Yeah. After getting all of the facts.
The whole third-party investigation, nah. That's them, CYA. They have to do it. They have to make it look like they haven't already brushed it under the rug. Or
Right. And maybe they did hire a third party to investigate.
Oh, no, they will.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But it's done. The school law is already judged. Unless some other information comes out,
Right.
It's over. And the school knows that, and that's what they should have done. And they likely, hopefully, have told the parents, listen, don't say any of this stuff, but it's over. It's done. We have to go through this or whatever. In today's world, that's what they have to do. It's sad, but that's the truth.
This will, and again, our news cycle is so fast anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing this is still on the front page, but this will be next week. Although when this ends up being in the shadows, I'd like to keep an eye on the school because it wouldn't surprise me if they end up having to close it down.
They could. They're gonna be in
changing the
some
name,
trouble. They'll
or
have to. Yeah.
Some of these kids are going to have to move.
Now the good thing is the community. Cincinnati generally is more right wing. Northern Kentucky.
Right.
It's Cincinnati community. It's It's Covington.
Yeah,
Kentucky.
right.
Is
Isn't that
more.
where P&G is?
Yes, it is.
Okay, there's Gillette.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah. No, they're more right wing. They are more compassionate conservatives down in that area.
Right.
But at least they are, and the area is uber Catholic. So you've got a lot of community support likely for the kids.
So
and the family,
wine
whatever.
sales are way up is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's
okay,
right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, box wine, not the good stuff.
Right.
Of course, something like that. So, wow. Speaking of wine, wow, you were chugging down the wine last night.
Me?
We're sitting. We're sitting at the Paris. Me, you, Ron, Beth, Tom. How many glasses of wine? He was telling you all kinds of stories about how he had golfed with Rick Dees and chugging the wine down.
I don't think that was.
Yeah, I don't
me.
think that was him.
I don't think that was me.
Who was that?
That was not me.
That would be
No.
Stunt Brain.
We look a lot.
Brain.
We look a lot alike.
Guys are both so. Well, let's just move on.
What's the
I
word?
think we're elder statesmen. I think I prefer elder statesmen.
Elder statesman.
Uh-huh.
Now let me tell you about this guy. Let me tell you about this guy. I've had breakfast with him every morning. By that I mean yesterday and today. Every morning. And you know what he's had for breakfast? Just 2 little egg drops.
Yes.
2 little healthy protein egg drops.
Protein. See, you try to
from,
eat smarter.
From Starbucks, because that's our stop off.
They're open 24 hours. You got to do what you can do.
Yeah, and we have to get the coffee on the way in. And trust me, I'd rather have American Pride Roasters, but it is what it is. But this guy's able to fend off all of the horrible food, and for their lack of good coffee, Starbucks has pretty good pastries.
They do.
They do have, and this guy. If I go to Starbucks, this guy, and we work in Starbucks, 4 or 5 chocolate chip cookies, a slice of that red velvet cake.
Good.
He has a muffin or 2.
I slathered the muffin
gosh.
all over me.
Brad is used to. I've seen him eat 3,500 calories worth of bakery goods at Starbucks.
I will bathe in a muffin if I can.
He will. Today, no.
Bathe
2.
Oh yeah.
2 egg drops loaded with protein and
Doc.
How many calories? 350.
Something
Something like
like
that.
What the hell is an egg drop?
$20.
What?
Same as downtown.
$4 here.
I'm
in
sorry.
Vegas.
Hit me again. Hit me again. Hit me again.
Doc, what's an egg drop?
$20, same as Fremont Street.
It's only $4 here.
Which is downtown.
Yes. I found a discount card on the ground. It's only $4 here.
Hit me again. Hit me again.
Doc, what's an egg drop?
Same price as a crack whore. $4. That's the going rate. We call them strawberries. I'll meet you out behind Stratosphere.
We'll be broadcasting from Pahrump now.
You know, we used to say. Because Pahrump is, when you're in Vegas, and we were in Vegas, you got the Las Vegas Valley, and surrounded by mountains.
Right.
You go over one that's the Pahrump Valley. Death Valley is over. So all the named valleys.
Yes.
Pahrump is Nye County, where prostitution is legal.
The Kingdom of Nye.
Yeah, that's right. Common misconception that it's legal in Las Vegas. It is not. I mean, you can let a lot of stuff fly, but it is not legal. Prostitution, but it is legal. The way Las Vegas or Nevada laws are written, it is not illegal unless it is illegal. Meaning state level, prostitution is not illegal.
Wait a minute.
State level.
Where all these cards have been getting
state level is gambling is not illegal. But you in your local community can say no.
No.
And that's what Las Vegas has said about prostitution.
Right.
So if you want to get with the prostitutes legally, you got to go over into Pahrump.
Really?
Now,
which, by the way, is illegal in 7 states.
There used to be a slogan. There used to be a slogan here that because you got to go up over the mountain to the next valley, they would say, "Cross the hump to Pahrump," and we, of course, would say,
"Here it comes."
Cross the hump to get humped, or get humped in Pahrump, or something like that. So that's it. But I digress. I was really going to talk to you about Riduzone.
I hold my hands like this. The handcuffs fit.
They do
more
fit
snugly.
Absolutely. Yeah, but Brad has been able to fend off all of that horrible, fattening food.
It's not the heroin. It's not the heroin.
Not this time.
Surprisingly.
No.
It is. It's because of Riduzone.
You know,
it's that little molecule.
It makes you look so good. Riduzone will do so much good that they've started to calling the look you get, that thin, svelte look. They've started calling it Riduzone chic.
Yeah. That's true.
Riduzone chic.
Look it up on.
You look at somebody and they're thin and they got it going on. You're going up. That's Riduzone chic.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. You were in the.
Ron looks skeptical.
No. I'm looking at Brad going. He looks pretty chic.
Well, he's not full chic yet.
I'm getting.
He's getting.
He's like Riduzone.
It's a process.
Yeah,
it's a destination.
He's Riduzone.
Your color's good
It's
though.
a journey.
Yeah.
No, it's a journey, and it's not a destination.
He's Riduzone. He's still got heek to go, but he's Riduzone. You'll get to the chic.
There.
Don't get me wrong.
I keep throwing back the OEA molecules, and it's working.
Who?
The OEA molecule.
Oh, that's in Riduzone.
That's what's in Riduzone. It makes you feel fuller, and
it's horrible.
What's that word, Brad? OE.
What is that called?
OEA.
No, work it. No, go. You got it. What's the full?
What's the full?
Oleoethylbromide.
Yeah, go. One more.
Oleoethylbromide.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
The horrible
That's the
thing is,
scientific
people,
term.
when you're on the Riduzone and you got that spring in your step and your heroin, I'm sorry, Riduzone
chic.
that they see it coming. And you step into Starbucks, they're like, look at this guy. This guy, he's 3,500 calories worth of.
Right.
Damn it.
See?
He's got the Riduzone glow.
Man, he ordered the
He's
egg
got the
drops.
Riduzone. He's not ordering anything.
That's what it is.
We're losing money.
That's what it is.
I expect Starbucks to start doing an anti-Riduzone campaign.
Oh, they will.
Because they're going to lose
Oh,
sales.
they will. Yeah.
People,
They absolutely will. And
Riduzone works. That's the bottom line.
I mean, it really does. And if you want to look Riduzone chic, that's where you start at riduzone.com.
It works great. Try it today. All right, communiques coming in across the social media spectrum. Please get your tweets in with the hashtag What I Learned Today. Of course, post it on Facebook as well.
Larky F. and Farkin, I'm not sure that he may be. Brad is spending all of his money on cocaine and hookers. He doesn't have any left for food.
No,
I wouldn't say that's true because I have so much money. I mean, I went before we left Dallas. I went into one of the rooms where I keep these stacks of $100 bills, and I was able to load up a full wheelbarrow full of those $100 bills.
Did you ship those ahead with UPS?
I did.
Because you're not carrying that on.
It cost like $1,000 to ship all that money here.
Wow.
It was heavy. It was a heavy crate of money. So, no, it's the Riduzone. It's not for lack of cash. No, not reading that one. MoJo Jedi, while in Vegas, names will be dropped. We haven't really dropped any yet. We could, but we haven't. Is Opelka, by the way, joining us at some point?
Yeah, he may
good.
be. Yeah.
Then we'll let him tell the story.
He's actually got a good story for you.
Speaking of dropping,
yesterday.
He said he told it.
I'll drop a couple names. I got him. Yesterday, I saw Celine Dion.
Yes.
Wayne Newton.
Yep.
One righteous brother and some dude who's masquerading as a righteous brother. All of them.
I saw Boys to Men.
Boys to Men.
Yeah.
I saw Angel. Who's that Angel guy?
Angel Martin.
The
Chris.
magician.
Angel.
Chris Angel.
Yeah.
We
all
walked
of
right
them.
by the Righteous Brothers, didn't
That's
we?
right.
Yeah,
That's right. I
sure.
mean, it was all on signs, but
Right, but we saw them.
We
did.
absolutely saw them. Yeah, that's right.
You know who I did see in person yesterday?
Who's that?
They were at one of the exhibit booths in here. Colonel Oliver North.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ollie.
He's president of the NRA, and they had just signed a multi-year contract with Masio. So
How are we doing time-wise there?
we're good.
Oh, okay, good deal. Just making sure. I don't know what the clock means today.
You're getting your time advice
It's the
from
same.
Ron?
It's the same as
Guess who-
that timer is the same as the clock at the office.
The other one counts
No
down.
way.
Guess who I saw yesterday? You know who I saw yesterday?
Who?
Radio legend, Matt
Me?
Matt
Ah,
Locke.
yes.
Matt Locke. He was
Legend
serious.
in his own shower.
Well, you know, that's
You
how
know,
it happens
it
or
is.
whatever. Yeah, Righteous Brothers, when one of them's dead, they're performing here.
Bill
at some of-
Medley and Bucky Hurd.
Can we say, is that who it was?
That's who it is.
Can we call them the semi-righteous brothers?
The righteous brother.
Partial righteous brother
I think so.
and Bucky.
Yeah, and Bucky. It was kind of
let's
fun.
just drop it all together. Let's call it Bill and Bucky.
Yeah, I think that's probably a better idea.
Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, and guy next
Ron,
to Ron.
that's Ron.
Ron Phillips, cousin of Nathan Phillips, live from SHOT Show in Las Vegas.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titty.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
It's your Daily Mojo live from Las Vegas. Join us on the communiques.
No.
You can.
No, I saw what you're doing over there. I think people should know what this texting is about. Your wife here?
She just asked me, how you doing? How's it going today?
No. Your wife did not just ask how you're doing. That is not what is happening on your little text thread there. Why don't you share it with the rest of the class?
I am not kidding when I say my wife just texted me, I just bought mannequins. Oh. The audience seems to believe I have a mannequin fetish.
Oh. That's because you have a mannequin fetish.
No. I have an Asian fetish.
Same
But
thing.
apparently my Asian has a mannequin fetish. It says I just bought mannequins and light and white backdrops.
Do you need to go home today, maybe?
She said, I'm turning our bedroom into a photography studio.
Wow.
One of you is going to make a lot of money.
I just bought mannequins and light and white backdrop. Our bedroom is going to be turned into a photography studio. I realize I need to be a photographer.
One of you is going to make a lot of money doing it, and it's not you.
Now, this has to do with her clothing business, the kids' clothing line or whatever.
Sure it
does. It was the comment right. It was the last comment that she made that where you're going to get involved.
I have so much to do.
No,
I have so much to learn. Oh yeah, I need to learn to edit. Thank you for
You're
pointing that out. When
That's-
my wife
that's where
says,
Doc comes into
yes,
play.
when she says I need to do whatever, what
Yes.
she's saying is I'm going to start doing something, and you're going to have to do it.
Yes.
It's like the wax seals on our wedding invitation.
Oh, yeah, you had to learn how to do it.
You know, back in the day, people put their ring
Yeah.
print, whatever.
Yep.
So she had this little monogrammed, and she wanted to send out all of them with the wax seal. So she bought one of the little stamps, the what do you call it? Your letters for your name, monogram.
Yeah, monogram,
And she bought the wax.
Right.
And she does one, and it's like a practice one. It's
Right.
horrible. And she does one, it's still bad. And I go, what are you doing? And I go, you got to do it to the side or what? And I go, kind of like this. And mine was better. And she goes, well, that's better. And I go, I can do a better one. Hang on, And I did it. So I get 2 or 3, and I'm pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And
You get to do
it's
the
a
rest.
half an hour later.
Uh-huh.
I'm halfway through the.
Yes.
And I was
It
like,
worked.
son of a gun. She goes, ooh, you're getting so good at it. You better just do it.
And by the
Oh,
way,
that's-
for those of you under 50, breaking the seal is not needing to pee.
No.
It is breaking the seal,
of
the
the
wax
seal.
Yeah, see, now it just means needing
You would
to
think I would be smarter than this about those games because my mother also played those games when it comes to starting people off on stuff like that.
Right.
She would do, whoops, can you do that?
Yeah.
She would start projects and make them look so fun, and then
Yes.
she would walk away.
Look how much fun painting this wall. I am having so much fun. You want to try it? No. I don't think you're good
They
enough.
had this home that was a century home, 100 years old.
Yeah.
And it had this wallpaper. Now, if you try to take wallpaper out of like a more modern home, it's difficult. But sometimes you can still get it to come off in bigger pieces, whatever.
You have a
If
paper
it's-
tiger.
Yeah. If it's like 40, 50-year-old home, that is not coming off in pieces bigger than a penny.
Right.
A dime. Maybe half a one.
You might as well paper over it.
So she's getting ready to leave for work, and she goes to the stairwell that was off the living room. And this was new wallpaper from like 5 years ago. So it's the real thing. And she goes like this, grabs the corner, and she goes, whoosh, and a whole sheet comes off. And I was like, what are you doing? I'm going to take this off so we can paint. Whoosh. And she goes to the next one, and it's a little high. She can't quite. And I go, hang on. Here's the whoosh. I tear it off. And she's talking to me. I tear the next one. She disappears, right?
Uh-huh.
Out the door for work. The next pieces.
She worked you, Doc.
Oh, she did. This was her game all along.
Women have been working you for years.
It's like 12 hours later, I have cleared, I don't know, a 4x4 foot patch of the old stuff or whatever. I got bottles of spray water and things that score it and putty knives trying to scrape this off. And she calls from work. She goes, how's it going? Okay.
Yeah,
but
see?
you'd think I'd learn. I have not.
No, you have not.
No,
To
I'm
this
just
day.
dumb that way. All right, get your communiques in, but of course we're going to still do this today.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
All right, Jack Holes, first part of your headlines from SHOT Show, the Hindenburg of toxic masculinity, made possible by Relief Factor. Pain sucks.
It
Relief
does.
Factor may help you stop it. Go to relieffactor.com. Find out how $20 could change your life, baby. A massive sinkhole is opened on 17th Street, just blocks from the White House.
Isn't this another one?
Another sinkhole. Yeah, the repair crews are on the scene of the giant sinkhole in Northwest D.C. after it happened yesterday evening, middle of 17th Street, just a few blocks from the White House. Sinkhole caused major delays across downtown yesterday. It continued to impact traffic this morning during rush hour, which I believe, it's already happened out there. 12 feet deep.
Okay, there's something going on with this. Now, it could be as simple as there are sinkholes because these things are wont to happen.
Right.
If you've got ground water that shifts, right, it'll open things up. Las Vegas, D.C. is built on a swamp, so there's a lot of marshy land. It could easily be something like that. But even if it's just that happening, there's still more to it. You do not get a sinkhole that close to the White House. And wasn't there one on the White House lawn?
Yeah, there were. I can't remember where the other two were. But
anyway,
yeah,
you don't get it that close without it at least being a concern of security.
Well,
yeah, who's tunneling underneath?
It's Trump.
So, well, no,
It's Trump.
So but it could be much bigger. Remember, they closed off, they put tarps around. They did a slight Oval Office upgrade of like tech.
When Obama took office.
Yeah,
or just before.
No, just as he was ending.
Yeah.
Because Trump was taking over.
Oh, that's right.
For the first year.
Yes.
And it might have crossed over the two.
Right.
But anyways, they had tarps put up all over, and you couldn't see that they were digging down in and what they were doing. Remember, they've got the underground war room and all that stuff.
Yep.
So it could be associated with that, maybe not. But I've learned that if it seems odd, there's likely more to it than the story. Look. If it's odd, look. There's more to it. But here's what I say we do. Let's screw with them.
Oh, that was even...
Guys.
That's of course.
The media already believes the stuff.
Yes.
If you can't fix it, feature it, number one.
Yes.
And number two, play into the paranoia. If people believe this stuff, the best way to get around it is play into the paranoia. So what we should be doing today is planting all over. Go to Reddit today, plant little suggestions in people's heads, the left, enough plausible stuff, concoct some story that you claim, and do this. Trump is conspiring with Russia to tunnel under.
It's easy. Yes, it's a tunnel to the hotel that he owns, so he can meet with.
He wants his own private. And by the way, you know what he's spending for that? You know how much tax dollars?
$23 trillion, the entire national debt.
It's actually going to quadruple it. It's going to be close to $70 trillion when he's done.
Right.
That's what he's doing.
He's actually using it to tunnel to Pelosi's hotel room.
That's
so
right.
he can spy on her.
So he can spy on. Dude, just build up. They will run with it. We can control the media. That's what we have to do. If you want to take back the media, you mock it, you do all that, you tell the truth. But then, as a false flag, right?
Yep.
You plant those false flags out there because they will run with it, and it points out their ridiculousness.
He's using it to smuggle hamburgers into the White House.
Whatever crazy things you can come up with that play into it. You know what he's doing? He's smuggling prostitutes.
Of course he is.
How else are you going to cover up his golden showers?
Right?
Right?
It's simple. Make sure you do that today.
Do all of that stuff. So have fun with it. I would go big. Go big.
We talked about this. Covington Catholic School is closed today, the first school day after the D.C. incident, for security reasons, according to school officials. They met with local authorities. They've made the decision to cancel school, be closed today in order to ensure the safety of our students, faculty, and staff. This from a letter from the school principal. All activities on campus canceled for the entire day and evening. Students, parents, faculty, staff not going to be on campus for any reason. Please continue to keep Covington Catholic community in your prayers. Earlier yesterday, it was unclear whether the school was closed because of the threats or the weather.
Do you know I would have come up with that? If I'd been going to school, even if I hadn't been a part of the chant and all that stuff, or out there when they were chanting.
Right.
And I'm just a student there, and they come back and I know the controversy, I would have likely gone to one of the principals or had somebody do it and go, do you really think the school is safe at this point?
Right.
Wouldn't we better served if we just delay school 5 or so days until this blows away?
Yeah.
I mean, we're right at the semester change anyways, and we do have snow days. So,
sir, I'm just suggesting this.
Is the school truly safe?
Right. And then you would have worn a skirt to school.
Yeah.
You did wear it. A man's legally owned firearms were confiscated after he defended his own home. This in Massachusetts. It's actually happened a month ago.
Oh, that wouldn't have worked.
Did you see the New York laws?
No.
Oh my gosh. There's two of them. One of them has to do with firearms. We'll cover that a little bit later on. We're live at SHOT Show today in Las Vegas. We'll cover some of that. You're not going to. You will not believe this. You really will not believe. I know that's a big.
Anymore, I believe.
And this should scare the heck out of everybody. Real quick, there's a lot of things that would make you likely move to say, I'm not going to be in that city, state, whatever anymore.
Right.
Higher taxes, whatever. Some of it, though, you could grit your teeth, say, well, I'm making more money, whatever. This is the thing that you will say, I must leave. I'll share with you coming up. But what's this one
Well, this
now?
is a man in the Cape Cod area. He used a gun to shoot a dog that was attacking him inside his bedroom. The police...
Was it his dog?
I hope not.
And really,
Yeah.
when you say dog, you mean canine, not...
Correct.
Not Debbie, what's her
right.
name? Schultz.
No,
Okay.
he's not that
Not-
horrible.
okay.
And the police promptly confiscated all of his firearms. He wasn't charged with any crime. By all accounts...
Wait, what?
By all accounts, the cops thought thought this was a justified shooting, yet they still took his guns. The Boston Globe, and again, this happened in December, reports that the 25-year-old man and his girlfriend were relaxing on the bed, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do, in their West Yarmouth home when a pit bull they were fostering snapped. The dog attacked the couple. When the man tried to push it away, it clamped down on his arm. Dog refused to release, so he reached for a 9mm, kept it in the nightstand. He fired the pit bull, ran off, dying shortly after. The guy was taken to the hospital, and the police took his guns.
Why couldn't he have just hit the dog with a heavy, blunt object?
Right? Or maybe yelled at it really loudly.
Oh, my. Here's what I'm thinking.
His bucket of rocks wasn't close enough.
He did not have a bucket of hammers and duct tape.
They weren't close enough.
Right.
Right.
Here's what you want to do in that case. If a pit bull is ever attacking you,
Right.
you close the door and you take duct tape and you seal the door with it. Okay? That's what you want to do, right?
Yes.
And then everybody involved take a small rock in case the pit bull
yes.
comes up. That's
Gather
what's really-
everyone in the area to grab
Right.
while the dog is clamped down on your arm, which makes
Exactly.
it difficult to apply
Then
the duct
take
tape.
the hammer and break out the window.
Yeah.
So you can have a way to escape. That's the plan.
But you know, if they're biting you and you stick the other hand's thumb and depress
Hello.
the back of his tongue, stick it in his mouth,
Thank
and
God.
depress the back
Thank
of his
God that's
tongue,
where-
he'll release.
Thank
I
God
have-
that's where you were sticking
I
your
have
thumb.
no idea if that's correct, so please don't try.
I had a different place to stick the thumb, and I think it might either release or
he
pay you $20.
or he may like you a little bit more.
How do you get your thumb in his mouth if he's clamped down on your arm?
Look.
Look.
I was just trying to think of a way to not have to fire my weapon.
Let me just
But
say,
let me
Brad,
explain
No wonder
this
you're
to you.
still married, quite frankly.
if we go with your method, Brad, your relationship with the dog is certainly going to change one way or another. That's what I'm. No, actually, you know what they say to do? You when attacked
Jab
by
him
a
in the
dog,
eye.
you go three places.
Boom.
You do eye
Yep.
because
Right.
that's every animal. A dog's nose is incredibly sensitive, so you go
Right.
big on the nose.
Yeah.
And every animal, you go to the genitals.
Yeah.
If it's a male dog or whatever.
Remember, it's a pit bull clamped on his arm.
Right.
Just saying.
You go.
You know
yeah.
why? Why didn't he stop and just try to reason with the animal? Why didn't he stop? What's wrong with
So
talking?
violent. So violent.
I would have had
know-
a 40mm discussion.
And that
40
is-
caliber, sorry.
That is the definition.
Let me ask you: do
of
you have the
toxic
man's
masculinity.
name? Do you know off the top of it? If you don't, it's okay. The man from Jarl or
I
Massachusetts. Okay.
don't have the guy's
Let me
name.
ask you about him, though. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that the best a man can be?
Yes, exactly. And I think that we all know the
Is
answer
that
to
the best?
I think we all know
Is that the
answer.
man you want to be?
Right.
You know, walking around with a pit bull clamped down on your arm,
Right. You see, I think
a
that-
dead pit bull clamped on your arm.
I don't think that we need any further evidence that Gillette had it absolutely right when they well, I don't even know if he was white. So that's another. Did you
Okay,
know, by the way?
Hang
yes,
on real quick.
speaking-
I just got a text message from Mike Opalka on Twitter. It's at Stuntbrain because he's a Stuntbrain. He's like, hey, I'll be there in about 15 minutes. Do you want me to bring coffee from Starbucks, or are you good?
Yes.
Wow, we could
have him bring it.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
How
yes.
much do we think we can get him to buy?
I want a. What do I want? I want another white chocolate.
I'm gonna text him like 6 different drinks.
What is that,
How much
Brad?
he'll
White
bring.
chocolate mocha?
Yeah,
Is that
no
what you're
whipped
getting?
cream. No whipped cream. Extra shot. He's going to have to take out a second mortgage. Why
5 of us here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. 5 of us here.
It's not like buying
No.
Starbucks anywhere else.
No.
Need food too.
Did you know that swearing can increase pain tolerance?
Shit, I do now.
Reduce the fear of being in pain. That's no joke. But they did a study, and actually, when people were swearing when they were being pain was being induced, it actually raised their pain threshold.
Do you know what else raises? Well, no, I
Being
guess
married?
lowers the pain threshold.
What's that?
When people don't talk to you after you hurt yourself. Stop talking.
Just shut up.
Just be quiet.
You know
Let
what?
me revel in this for a minute.
You know what else helps your pain? Relief Factor.
Relief Factor.
I mean, you can cuss all the way to picking up the bag of Relief Factor, and that will actually help. That will actually, and I've tripled, by the way, my daily intake for the past week or so, knowing I was going to be walking around on a concrete floor. What?
Studbrain's response is, I'm giving you the side eye. Yesterday he was telling me about going through TSA, and he was giving people like the business. And he goes, all she did was give me the side eye. I go, the side eye or the evil eye? He goes, evil eye came later. Not the stink eye, not the stink eye. How about the crook eye? There was no crook eye. There was this whole discussion about eyes.
Look, I'm going to tell you, if you want some fun, go through TSA with Doc Thompson.
Oh, big fun.
Just make sure you have an extra 2 or 3 hours.
No,
to
go. Make sure you're in front of him. Get
Right,
done,
yes.
and then just turn around and wait.
That way you can make your flight while he's not.
By the way,
saying.
when Studbrain comes up, I got to tell you the crap he pulled yesterday on the sidewalk. You didn't see this.
No, I did
You
not.
saw it.
Oh, I heard about it, though. It's a good story.
Yeah, this is coming up.
Go
All
to,
right,
go to
please continue.
relieffactor.com and you
Relieve
too.
your pain.
Yes, relieve your pain. Believe me, it's worth every.
Shouldn't we say relieve your pain? Because we don't want to confuse people.
Right, yeah, that's true. It's
They'll
not,
be-
it's
they'll
not
be a
relief
relief
factor.
factor.
It's relief factor.
So then say relieve your pain.
Yes,
Okay,
relieve
that's
your
gonna
pain
be-
with
that's gonna be good for you.
relieffactor.com. That musical interlude brought to you, again, by Relief Factor. From Round Park, Illinois, a man there was accused of letting his 11-year-old son drive to school.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem with this.
Is he hot?
An
I
arrest-
mean, is he a good driver?
The kid or the father?
Either one.
An arrest warrant been issued for a Northern Illinois. Well, that
there
explains
it
it. Police say he allowed his 11-year-old relative to drive her. Whoa. I didn't say. I misspoke.
All right, I got to do it now.
She hot? I don't know. There's no picture. Drive herself to school in a stolen rental car. You see the plot
Oh, it was
thickens.
stolen. Okay.
Yes, while he rode along.
I knew there had to be more to the story.
What a
Just
wuss.
driving to school.
He wouldn't even drive the stolen
Did she
car
steal the
himself.
school? Or did she steal the car?
Well, I don't know. The Lake County News Sun reported the employees at a Round Lake Elementary School saw the girl pull up to the school's drop-off point on January 9th. Open the door, throw her pack of Marlboros on the ground, jump out, pass it to passengers, slam the door, and walk into school. I'm sorry, they were Salem's.
How's her fresh tat look?
She and a 9-year-old girl who was in the back seat of the car both exited. 31-year-old Kafilu Oshodi of, I have no idea.
Those damn Irish.
Right? The Round Lake, he then moved into the driver's seat and he drove away. Well, what was he going to do? Leave the car there? How was he going to get home?
Can you imagine the amount of street cred at 11 when you roll up in a stolen car to elementary school?
Was she wearing a seatbelt? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
He was.
You know where she parked?
Where
handicap spot.
He's wanted now on 2 counts of child endangerment and driving on a suspended license.
My golly, that's some serious cred.
Wow, is that? Yes. Don't mess with her.
No, here it is. Janice, whose stolen car did you drive? Or no, whose car did you drive to school today? I don't know. I stole it.
Stole it.
Oh, I bet I should not ask that.
It's government shutdown day 3,472. The TSA screener sick-outs have now hit 10% over the past weekend.
You know, here's the thing.
Sick-outs, not screen-outs.
I do not blame these people. Now, the government workers. As I have all my criticisms of government workers, we know the scams, we know the overexpense, we know many of them should never have been hired.
Right.
The government needs to be scaled down, all of that. I certainly stand with the shutdown. We should be shutting it down to take control of the government, all of that.
Yes.
But think about those individual workers. Well, again, I have no love lost for some government workers. These are people who are working and not being paid. Now, some of them likely will be paid eventually. It doesn't mean they're able to pay their bills now, and that's trouble.
Right.
And we don't know how long it's going to go on. But anybody who's working that will not get paid, that's a fail. Mussolini's dead. People should get paid to work. Should they get paid to work?
Absolutely.
Should they be required to work if they're not getting paid?
No. That's slavery. That right there is slavery.
So let's point out the failure here. You're right. That is slavery. And if they can't pay their bills now, it screws up their life. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't have known better. I mean, you get ups and downs with any job.
This has happened before.
But this is a failure that we would ever be able to not pay somebody. If they're non-essential, don't have them at the government.
Right.
But anybody who's working, that works for the government should get paid even with a shutdown. So you're saying, well, then how do you do it if there's a shutdown? Well, then maybe there shouldn't be shutdowns because you balance the effing budget. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
We accept all of the nonsense of it. If you work, you should get paid. This is what I believe in. I believe in work, and I believe in paying people their work and treating people well. Stop screwing around with this stuff. Any of us would be infuriated if our employer didn't pay us and demanded we work, and everybody sided with them.
We're not getting paid.
Maybe we just move on.
I think that's a much better idea. By the way, if you as an employer looked at your checking account and you were overdrawn by $300, let's say, let's just make $300, and you wrote payroll checks to your employees, what would happen to those checks?
Oh, they would bounce.
They would bounce. Why aren't the federal government's checks bouncing?
Right. So while
we don't have the money.
Right. So while, again, right versus left argues these poor employees, and the other ones are like, the truth is, this is a failure of conception from the beginning, like all of this stuff. And now we argue the nuanced little pieces of it.
Yes.
No, stop it.
We have no money.
Balance the damn budget, and we wouldn't have any issue. You don't need to raise the debt ceiling if you mandate, via amendment to the Constitution, a balanced budget that cannot simply be balanced by raising taxes.
Wow, that made sense. You know, coffee was originally regarded as a wonder drug in Yemen and Arabia. It was taken only on the advice of a doctor. Why?
Because they're smart.
Damn straight. Many saw coffee as a brain tonic or as a way to stimulate religious visions. That's the
I will
origin of
say,
coffee.
drinking American Pride Roasters coffee is about as close to a religious experience you can have without having a religious experience.
And let me show you one of the cards I've collected. That'll get you the rest of the way.
That helps out quite a bit.
It is
American
Vegas.
Pride Roasters, the official coffee of MoJo 50. Get some today at AmericanPrideRoasters.com. It is simply the best coffee. Their basic coffee, we talk about a lot of the flavored stuff or whatever, and it's fantastic. It's not a syrupy, like you get a syrup-flavored drink.
Ron just gave you 2 minutes, so we only have 30 seconds.
Okay, gotcha. Give me the 1 minute countdown, too, at about 10 seconds. It puts that idea of these different concepts of flavors in your head. You got to try it to understand. But if you don't like those, you've got to try their basic coffee. He started with the George Washington, which is a fantastic coffee. And then, of course, got the Franklin and the Jefferson. They're all good.
This is hand-roasted coffee, literally hand-roasted coffee.
He roasts each bean.
He gets rid
with
of the
a
roaches
Bic lighter.
first. Yes.
Yeah.
Each one of them.
Each one. A Bic
he
lighter
burns
and
his
tweezers.
fingers.
It's a process,
It's
but he
painful.
does it for you.
He swears a lot.
Try it. It's the best coffee in America at AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
It is Wednesday, January 23rd. We are live from SHOT Show in Las Vegas, and Tiffany Amber Thiessen is 44 years old today.
Wow.
Was she on 90210? What was she on?
Shut your mouth.
I think she was.
No, she was Saved by the Bell.
Oh, that's right.
And then Saved by the Bell, Do It Again.
Right. Remember
and
what
Saved by the Bell, the prequel, the early years.
And then there's Screech.
And Saved by the Bells, the college years. So where are we at now? Saved by the Bell, Midlife Crisis?
Yeah, I think it's a geriatric edition.
Oh, that's a couple years away.
That's old people.
You get Saved by the Bell, Midlife Crisis.
Yes.
Saved by the Bell, Menopause.
Right.
She's got a lot of those to get to before then.
You know, John Hancock would be 281 years old today?
Please. That was just his pen name.
And MacGyver is 68 years old today. Richard Dean Anderson.
How old?
68.
Steve Perry, 70. Stop it.
I
That's
know.
The worst. You won yesterday with that one.
Those are your headlines.
A free exchange of ideas. MoJo 50. The Daily Mojo.
We're live from SHOT Show. It's your Daily Mojo, mojo50.com. Appreciate you joining us. Communique's coming in.
Hey, I have one, Doc.
All right.
So what's eating Gilbert Jack? Actually,
Ooh,
Jack
wait.
Gilbert. Our buddy Jack.
Ah.
He says, enough about the kid and the Indian. There's absolutely nothing more to discuss about this.
Well, yeah, that's why we moved on. Oh, he sent it a while ago.
He did. He sent it a while ago.
Yeah, there actually was a bunch with it, whatever, sadly, and because we had the new NBC, there's more today. Sorry, Jack. No, if you don't like it, you're going to have to kind of groundhog it, go underground today, because it's gonna bubble under all day today. There's not a lot of other news going on. And then number two, this Today Show interview is it may be posted now even, and they're going to dissect that. It's not over, sadly, but it is.
Sadly, it's not.
It ain't over till it's over.
But we will cover it less moving forward.
Today.
Or not.
Unless
Right.
You listen to the podcast.
Right. Oh, yes. If you're listening to the podcast, it could be Wednesday, and we might still be talking about it. Unless, of course, it's like the weekend, and you're still listening.
Right.
Doc's inner Akbar needs to be calibrated? As Peekapoo mercenary Jack Hole. Doc's inner Akbar.
Like Allah Akbar?
No. For Akbar from it's a Han. No, Luke. It's a trap. Remember the big fish head guy? Akbar.
Akbar. Allah Akbar?
No, your inner Akbar needs to be calibrated.
From
It's
Star
a trap.
Wars?
Yeah, so I
didn't know his name was Akbar.
I think Peekapoo has been.
What in hell?
He's been.
Hey, dude. Wow.
By the way, do you know there's a 30-foot bong here in Vegas?
No, do tell.
It's down there's a cannabis museum downtown. 30-foot bong. You can swim in the thing, I think.
Do they let you use it?
I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people are getting their pictures taken with it, but we may later. I'm jacking the hole. That's their name on Twitter. $20, same as downtown, could change my life forever. Yes, it could, especially
in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas. Massive sinkhole in D.C. The swamp is reclaiming itself. Hopefully, it will swallow up Congress. Brian Keith. Loved him in Family Affair. So decent. What do you, Lori D? Wow, she's sober. What do you call 12 square feet of DC getting sucked into the earth?
A start.
A great start. Thank you. That one gets a retweet right there.
So New York, and I think this is a law that's
New
already,
York.
No, it's New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Sorry.
I think this might be an existing law that they're now being challenged. People, it might be applying it. It's called the retreat doctrine.
It sounds like it's like a vacation spot, like a corporate retreat.
You know, the castle doctrine or the stand your ground
Oh,
doctrine.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are they about to tell us now that we cannot stand our ground?
All you got to do is run
That
fast.
is correct.
We must retreat.
New York has a retreat doctrine, and it's a theory that says that you have a duty to run and hide if it is safe to do so.
All the other kids with the pumped up kids, say all you got to do is
outrun them. That's right.
Outrun my
bullet.
All you got to do is
kicks.
All you got to do is outrun my bullet, and that's what they're saying now.
Right.
Just outrun the bullet.
So you have a duty. You know, when someone is invading your house, if somebody is on your property, even if you're out and about and they threaten you,
which, by the way, has never happened to the person who wrote this crap.
Right. Exactly. Right. There, you don't have time to add all of this stuff up. It's okay. There's something going down here.
Yes.
I've got to do everything I can to protect myself. And that's the whole point of this. It's never been designed for you to be a vigilante, and it hasn't really been used for people to be vigilantes. I'm talking castle doctrine or stand your ground. People are not out going, I'm going to take this gun and then go hunt people down on the streets, and I could say I was standing my ground when they came at me. No. It's when you are threatened out and about. And you don't think in today's world it's ever going to be challenged that you were out. When you truly do stand your ground and were right to do so, protecting your family, they challenge it. So if it's being, if someone's trying to use that to be a vigilante, they're going to challenge it.
Do you know if there's ever been a court case where someone lured someone into their house or their car so they could shoot them?
I don't think that's ever been the case. Because if it's able to be proved, it's going to throw that all out the window anyway.
Absolutely.
But they always used to say if someone is breaking into your home and they're halfway through the window and you shoot them, drag them the rest of the way into your house.
So they're applying it now. I don't know when this went into effect. I don't know if this has been around. I'd never heard of it, the retreat doctrine. But it says you have to run and hide if you are able to do so. That is the wrong theory. That is the wrong idea. Let's take them one by one. There's two. There's stand your ground, which means outside of your house, whatever. Right. But this is being applied to a guy who is in his home. There's a new case I'll tell you about in a minute. If you're in your home, why should you have to run and hide?
Exactly. You shouldn't. You should be able to. If you want to run and hide, go
That's
ahead.
Fine. Why is that the doctrine? I will give you that it's up for debate out and about. I mean, I believe stand your ground.
Okay.
But that's not what we're talking about in somebody's home. No. And for it to be called a castle doctrine is the perfect name. It's not a home doctrine. Man's house is his castle, right?
Yeah.
If this is mine, I should be able to do whatever I want with it. House, computer, shoe, it does not matter. A home is supposed to be your sanctuary. It's the place where you are safe and protected, and your family is as well.
It's the place where your kidnap victims are in the basement.
I don't care what you are intending to do. I don't care if you are coming in with friendly purposes. If I do not invite you in, if I do not know who you are, I am assuming you are there to do me and my family harm, because I don't want to figure out afterwards, when I was being kind to you, oh, well, maybe he's here to do good. After you tie my wife and kids up and rape them and then torch the house, oh, it looks like the guy had nefarious purposes. Wow. I would rather get it wrong on the other end.
Yeah.
The onus for you is on you to not come into my house. And I swear on my life, you come into my house, I don't care where I am, retreat doctrine, castle doctrine, I am treating you as hostile instantly.
Yes.
And I am going to be aggressive. This is how it is. I meet you on the street, whatever, that's fair ground or whatever. I'm still heightened. You come at me, there may be trouble. But I guarantee you, I see you in my house. I don't know who you are. I didn't invite you in. I'm not waiting 20 minutes to figure it out. I'm not questioning you. I'm grabbing anything and everything that will do you harm, and I am going to do you harm.
Yeah.
Fists, heavy blunt object. If I'm close to my gun, I'm doing it, and I am shooting.
Yes.
I'm not telling you to get out of my house.
No.
That is not happening.
No.
I don't know what's going on.
No. I'll get you out of my house. It'll probably be in a body bag.
Seriously, I am going to attack you within seconds.
I'm
when
not
I go,
asking you to please leave.
No. People think I'm joking, but it's not sensational for radio, folks.
No.
I see you.
You and everybody else. put
Without
in this
question.
position.
Now, if I was a single man, maybe there'd be a little more give. I'm not saying there will, but maybe.
I might toy with you a little bit.
Maybe.
If she's hot. You're
Well,
assuming
she's
it's
hot.
a guy that
That's
breaks
true.
in.
That's true. We'll assume that. Yeah,
Yes.
because women don't do horrible things. We
Right,
know that.
never.
But
Never.
the only, as a person in my house, the only pause you're going to get, the only time you are going to have to run and flee is going to be the second for me to process what's going on. There's the natural, who the hell's this guy? What's going on here?
Yep.
Whatever that time is, I don't know if it's a split second, if it's 4 seconds, attack mode goes in.
Yep.
That's it. That's where we're going here. Retreat doctrine, no. New York, if you have something like this, folks, you've got to leave. You cannot have this. You cannot live in this society. It's one thing to say, I'll deal with the taxes. My job is here. I'll deal with this. I'll deal with progressive laws here. You know, my child can get an abortion at 14, without my consent. That's all crazy. That's all wrong. But see, you have an opportunity there to still control. You can still say, well, I can move to a lesser tax, whatever. I can adjust all of these. This is when it goes down. You will be charged with a crime for protecting your family.
Yeah.
You cannot live in this society.
No, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Well,
And
here's
if-
the thing: is that let's say someone comes into your home and you have a duty to retreat or go hide or whatever the case may be. Whose job is it to determine whether you made the right call or not in that instance?
The prosecutor.
Exactly.
Who's likely
the
up
authorities,
for,
the
who is likely
prosecutor,
progressive and up for re-election.
who themselves were not in that particular situation. Prove to me that I had the capability to run and hide.
Well, they never make a mistake.
July 30th, a man named Joel Christopher Paul had an intruder in his house. This is 2017, July 30th. He was in Springfield Gardens with his mom, brother, and sister when someone attempted to break in. The intruder was a 26-year-old who had traveled up from, I think, the state of Maryland. This is New York. They were expecting a pizza delivery, so Paul's brother, 16-year-old Michael, went to the door, and this guy was trying to break in.
All right.
He forced Michael, the 16-year-old brother, forced the guy trying to break into a surrounding area, and his mother called for help, this Joel, the 27-year-old, and he brought the guy had a bat and a knife with him, and Joel, I believe, ended up shooting him.
Right.
Is it shooting him? Or did he make sure?
He messed him
up. No,
up.
Joel brought the knife and bat. Killed him. And now he's being prosecuted under the you should have run and hid.
All right, this may, because I think I may have seen this story.
Mm-hmm.
Did they chase him inside or outside?
I don't
the
know.
guy trying to leave? Because if the guy, I think the law is if your attacker, if someone is trying to get into your house, and if he either manages to get in and then runs out, if he's running, it's like it's you can't shoot somebody in the back thing.
Right.
It's that law. If they are trying to retreat, you can't shoot to protect personal property. You can only.
It said Joel, the prosecutor, saying he had a duty under the retreat doctrine to run and hide if he could. The DA is going to pursue.
Then that's bogus.
Some sort of trial.
Yeah, that's no. The run and hide.
They say that
what if you suck
he
and
had
hide and
intent
seek?
to cause serious physical injury to this guy.
Yes, if a guy's breaking into my house,
was
you
absolutely
bet your
my
ass,
intent.
My intent is to cause very serious.
I would have
personal injury.
absolutely. I would stand
Yes.
up and own that at this
Yes,
point.
absolutely, Your Honor. My intent was to pound him into nothing in my home.
Right, exactly.
I'm protecting my family, and if that's a problem, if that's the country we live in now,
Here's the other part of this that they're missing too. Let's say, and I don't know if he pursued him outside. Likely he did, or fine. But I'm even fine with that, and here's why. And it's twofold. Number one, you're there in your home. where you should feel safe, and most of us do. Person, 16-year-old brother, kids, wife, whatever, right? And you're going after him. Knife, bat, gun, it starts going down, and he starts running. You are filled with adrenaline more than he is. Remember, he might be a little scared of the shot, but your family is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
You've got the ultimate adrenaline surge, and you expect me to control myself. Now, who started that? Who gave me that adrenaline surge?
Yes.
Who put that in there? This guy. It didn't have to happen if he didn't do this.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, and I'm not sure this would be going through my head at the time, but it certainly does afterwards. Okay, so this guy tried to break in, and I, had him leave. Maybe I got one shot in with the baseball bat before he fled the house or whatever.
Right.
How do I know this guy doesn't have a vendetta now? He's not pissed off that he didn't get to come in and steal what he wanted, and he's going to come back again. I can't take that chance.
How do you know he's not running out to where he left the gun right outside your front door?
Right. But
yeah.
You don't think people would have a chip on their shoulder going, I'm going to go back and show him.
Absolutely. I think that's happened.
Of course. So maybe I go ahead and – you see what I'm saying there?
Yes.
How do you go after the person who is the victim here? I get you don't want vigilantes. That's not what this is.
No. It doesn't sound like it. If we have all the information, it sounds like the absolute
Now, let's say he pursued this guy, and went to his house, found out who he is, all this other stuff, right? And then said, he went out and killed him 3 weeks later. Okay, maybe you have something there. But
that's you just described The Punisher, which you haven't watched either.
So here's the irony here. The story I read comes from the New York Post.
Right.
And they have a little insert of other headlines. That you can click on from the story. Not related to the story, just other headlines that, interest from today. Other things that you might be interested in. And here are their other headlines. Again, just randomly with that, right? Woman tied up and raped inside East Village apartment. Second, police arrested suspect in 88-year-old's Christmas beatdown.
Right. Yeah.
That's likely in home. Home invaders used victim's own gun to rob him and steal his Cadillac.
Yeah, and all these are situations where, if in fact someone had a weapon by their side, they may have avoided.
Those are the first three up there. Those are the ones that are listed.
I go back to the shirt. If you don't have a gun, when you need one, you may never need one again.
I love that.
Yeah, people can say I'm crazy. You can say but I'm telling you, show up at the house. I am going to expect. I'm going to assume right off that you are there for nefarious purposes.
And you should assume right off.
That was so aggressive.
That you're going to get shot.
Absolutely. That's right. The worst is coming.
But that assumption should be made before you approach the property.
That's not me. Again, I'm not being brazen.
I have that assumption.
I'm not saying I'm going to win. I'm not saying they're not going to stab me and kill me and rape my family. I'm not saying that, but I'm going to try.
I ain't that smart, and I know if I try to break into somebody's house, there's a good chance I'm going to get shot or beaten.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, you may be able to, while you're avoiding the bullets or the blows or whatever, scream out something. No, I'm just the gas man or something. Maybe. But you better talk fast and be able to dodge it.
If you assume as you approach my home or my property that I'm going to run and hide, you are making a bad assumption.
As an example.
Was it Mossberg?
Mossberg shotguns?
Yeah. I was trying to think of the name of somewhere. Yeah. I have the two guns that are closest hand, Mossberg shotgun, and I have a Car 9mm.
All you need is
those are my two.
Yeah. Really, in most cases, the thing you need and the best deterrent is just the racking.
Just to rack the gun.
Then you have to have a load in the chain. Just the racking of that shotgun. That is the universal sound for get the hell out.
Here's the thing, though.
It's a rattlesnake. That's the sound of a rattle.
Now, I think you ought to pull back the rack on a 50 mil. Just have that sound on your phone.
Yes, you are right, Brad. Here's the difference in my house, okay? If in the middle of the night I hear a noise.
Right.
What was that? Is that somebody might be? Yes, you at that point will hear the racking of the Mossberg shotgun I have. If I see you, you will not have an opportunity to hear the racking and then decide to leave.
Right.
If I see you, it's not going to be rack it and you better get out. That's not happening.
Right.
You're going to hear it immediately followed by the blast.
Right.
That's it. and then you'll hear it rack again. If you're still alive.
Right.
But if you're going to hear it if you're slinking around the house. And if I know you're there, I'm shooting you. You're not going to get time to get out.
Ironically, the only hesitation I would have is knowing that I have to clean up the mess. Knowing that if I shoot, there's going to be it's on the wall. I've got to repair the drywall. You got to clean up the floor.
The only hesitation is if the kids are standing right there, or depending upon, and even that, if I really think they're in jeopardy, they're going to see a guy die. That's just how it is.
When we had the internet hooked up at the house, the guy who was there, it didn't work. They had to send another technician out.
Shady.
Well, here's the thing. I could tell he didn't know what he was doing. And he wanted to use my truck to get up in the attic, to pull into the garage to get up in the. I'm like, dude, you didn't bring a ladder. So anyway, this guy is like, what? He not. He had no clue what he was doing. And finally, it's like, you need to leave. No, let me try. No, you need to leave. You need to try one more. He wouldn't leave. It's like, you don't understand. Get the F out.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And and it was it was amazing when someone won't leave your home. And they're just there to try to hook up the internet. Imagine what they're like if you find somebody that's in your home that shouldn't be there to begin with.
You know, the funny thing is, and I've talked about this before, I am one of the most affable, help anybody people out and
you're
about.
friendly, too.
I wouldn't go that far. To help people out and do whatever. But I just have such a protect mentality when it comes to people, and, especially – The other thing is you may not get the opportunity.
Toxic and
I know.
Masculine of you.
Actually, it's not, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
You may not have the opportunity to be shot by me, because if the kids are there and my wife is there,
she gonna handle it.
A woman generally doesn't even need the gun. Their claws will take care of it.
You know the whole tiger mom thing about the Asian. It's absolutely true. My wife, when I met her, she is my wife is incredibly powerfully nice. She is painfully nice at times, where I'm like, can we just walk away now? And well, the guy is, and I'm just like, we've got to walk away. She's crazy nice. And when I met her, I never thought she would be all that maternal.
Right.
She's she has this ability, when you've wronged her, you're just dead to her in her mind. She's not.
No, it's not it's okay, baby. You just go to bed.
No, not at all. She's not vindictive. That's what I'm saying. She just, when you wrong her, she has the ability to erase you from her mind. Where I'll say to people, I'll go, do you remember Steve that was, no? Don't you remember he whatever? And then he stole that money from you and he slapped you around or whatever. She's like, no. How do you not remember? And then I force it, and she's like, oh, kind of. It's just gone from her.
It's Don Draper. I don't think of you at all.
Right. It really is. She does this. So that's how nice she is. But she never seemed all that maternal with kids. Like, she'd play with kids, but she didn't have that, like some people are like, the babies, right? She's just not that way. So I was like, okay. I mean, I know she'll probably be a responsible mom, but she's not going to be that googly. Wrong. She is the ultimate mom, loving, caring, and defensive. I see her out and about with other kids and the parties and their moms treating. And if anybody interacts with the boys, she's like, yep. I mean, like laser focused on like what every word they're saying to them.
That's the way. My dad was that way. He you could do anything to him. He would not say if he had a mouthful. But you messed with his kids.
Oh, that's how my dad was too. Absolutely. Hey, if you get a chance, sign up for a Patriot Mobile account today. It's patriotmobile.com/doc. It's a great company. If you appreciate some of the things we're talking about, we're live at SHOT Show today, and you appreciate, Castle Doctrine.
Liberty, the pursuit of happiness, maybe?
Well, and people who defend the Castle Doctrine and stand your grounds. These are not aggressive. That's not what this is. My defending my home when you break in, that's not aggressive.
No, it's not.
That's defensive. And people may try to blur those lines. We will not let that happen. If you want people out there fighting for those same values, then do yourself a favor and help them fight. Give them the tools to fight by saving yourself money. What? You will likely save money if you sign up for a Patriot Mobile account, and you will be doing some good for all of this stuff we talk about. You'll also be doing good for this platform. It's very simple. PatriotMobile.com/doc. They have amazing coverage. Don't worry about that. If you're worried about it, just go to the website, PatriotMobile.com/doc. Sign up today. If you've already signed up, and I know this is asking a lot, maybe proselytize just a bit and what?
What?
Like evangelize. Proselytize, evangelize. What do you give me the word proselytize for?
I didn't.
Anyway, and just, your mother, your cousin, somebody else, just, sign them up. PatriotMobile.com/doc. Dan joins us now. How are you, Dan?
Good morning.
Dan, what's your company?
Psionics.
Psionics. What is Psionics? And you're exhibiting here at the SHOT Show?
Yeah, it's our first year, so we're up in the next area. And one of your folks stopped by.
Oh, we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, we haven't even gone upstairs yet.
Oh, you need to go because it's next.
Yeah. Actually, ironically,
Good
it is,
point.
Dan. We were here today.
Good
We
point.
covered most of inside the big room right behind us today, but we didn't get up there. So actually, it is next. That's fun. What is Sonics?
So what we do is we make a new type of night vision technology. And people, if they've been paying attention to the news, just saw a press release from us. We got a $20 million contract with the Army.
Nice job. Of
Yeah.
course, they won't be paying you now because the government's closed.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
and real quick, Sonics, I'm just curious if you'd like to invest in a broadcast platform.
Uh-huh.
Because we know one. I mean, you got $20 million.
do you
maybe.
take MasterCard?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
We'll take anything. We'll take
Yes,
Bitcoin.
where is it?
We'll take your wallet.
That's a nice watch. We could sell that.
No,
too.
that's an awesome investment.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
That's saying you're doing something right?
Yeah, it is. So what we did was the company has been traditionally a fabless semiconductor company. We make a chip, a night vision chip.
Say that again. It's what was what?
Fabless
Semiconductor.
semiconductor.
Okay.
That's the name of our band, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
It would be a good name for a band.
It would be. Yes.
What is a fabless semiconductor?
So we make a chip, and that chip is a night vision sensor.
Okay.
And so what happened was we decided that we'd put that sensor into a consumer product.
Okay.
And offer this next generation of digital night vision to consumers at a very good cost point.
Nice.
And
So
night vision, where is it? What's the application? Is it?
You can see things at night.
I know that.
Jeez.
So-
I mean, is it via binoculars or?
Look at that.
action camera.
Oh.
Takes video.
Wow.
It takes photos. It does time-lapse photography.
That's a $12 million prototype. Do not drop it.
But here's the wow factor.
All right.
Here's what you gotta.
This is
what you gotta look
wild.
at.
All right.
There's what GoPro sees in the dark at midnight.
No
That's
way.
what I see.
No. No way.
Rud.
Right there.
Okay, hold it
That-
right. Little closer,
move up
centered,
there,
right there. Hold it right
no
there.
way. So on the left is what the GoPro sees.
Holy moly!
And on the right is what your camera sees.
That's right.
Holy crap.
So
Take
let me
five
help
of them.
describe it as best I can. The GoPro, you see a couple of little
Lights,
dots of light,
light.
and your camera, you see everything.
It's like high noon.
It's like noon. It looks like. Is that a
But you're
video
missing.
you have?
You're missing the best point.
Yeah.
It's in color. You
That's
get the
what I'm saying.
prize.
It's like noon. It's
This is yours. No.
Is that a video you had? Is that what that is?
Yes. And here is. I'll show you again.
Moving pictures, Doc. They invented them recently.
Shut up. I want the copy as well.
That's 1 o'clock in the morning. We're out shooting hogs, predator hunting.
No. That is stunning.
Now, what do you think you pay for this?
I don't know.
This competes with the generational products.
I was
going
to say. Oh shoot! $5. I'm always worried. I'm going to say. I was going to say $500-600.
You know how much Gen 2 and Gen 3 cost?
No.
Night vision?
No.
3,000.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, our price
You know
is
how
going to
much?
be way
no
up.
idea.
Do you know how much color night vision costs?
No.
For the military? Over 20,000.
Okay, so yeah, our,
yeah.
we were way off.
Well,
So you know how much this is?
How
No.
much?
$7.99.
Holy shnikes!
Wow. Okay.
Now, let me show you some more here because video is great. This is something cameras can't do. Certainly night vision product can't do. That's the Aurora Borealis. 1 o'clock in the morning in the dark.
This is amazing.
Wow.
Can you got to send us a copy of the original video, and we'll post it today so people
Sure.
can see.
You can
This
just
is-
attach the copy to one of the cameras and send us the whole thing. That's amazing. That is, and I've been around cameras for most of my career. That I have never.
much to the chagrin of the audience.
Right. I knew Thomas Edison. We went to school together.
So yeah, and so when was this model launched? When?
We launched this in a Kickstarter last April.
Okay.
And we sold out in our first category within 3.5 hours.
And did you have video that people could see examples?
yeah.
In? Okay, then yeah, you're done.
Yeah, and then we launched. We actually physically shipped the product in July, and so it's a new product on the market. And it's we originally, like I said, this is an action camera, so we originally didn't plan on sending it over to the shooting sports market.
Right. No, yeah, I got you.
But we've been drawn in. We have many police departments, public safety,
and people can buy retail.
Yeah.
Okay, and where can they? You have a website?
We have a website,
okay,
Sionics.com.
And that's spelled SIONYX.
Right.
SIONYX.com.
That's right.
Like, is that like how they spell Scion the car?
No.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
It's missing a C.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it actually stands for Psionics. Is SI is silicon.
Okay.
Onyx is
black
rock.
there it is. I
so
should have.
Black silicon.
And that's the Aurora then, right?
The Aurora.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Brad will tweet out a link to the website so you can find it there. And then we'll do a little video with you post later so people can see the video. This is amazing, Dan. That is awesome.
Today we'll have our black room down there. Yesterday we lost it because of the flights and snow and everything.
Right. Stop on by if you're in the area for SHOT Show.
We're coming up to see you later.
Quick break. Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs along with this guy who's next to us.
That's Ron.
Ron at SHOT Show Vegas.
is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Yeah, bitches.
The mothership has landed.
All right, communiques coming in now via the social media platforms, and we did get a text message from Beth who was trying to correct us about Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Oh, did we? What'd she say?
She said she was also on 90210.
Okay. Thank you.
No, she
What?
wasn't. That doesn't exist. She is Kelly Kapowski, and she will always be Kelly Kapowski, and that's all you need to remember.
It just depends on which fantasy you remember.
Listen, when you have the cheerleading outfit seared into your brain, nothing else exists. That's where it stops.
So, okay, 7 Rings Taint Jackhole Pump something or other tweeted silicone joke not needed. Silicone joke not needed.
Did we make a silicone joke?
No.
Wow, now they're hearing jokes that don't exist.
What is wrong with these people?
Oh, okay. Maybe there was. I just don't remember.
I don't remember it either.
Dan said it stood for silicone. She
Silicone.
said silicone joke not needed. She's not
Oh, she doesn't need it to remember. She wasn't saying we did one. She's just saying you don't need the silicone joke.
Oh.
She was making with the yuck yuck.
Oh, was it she? 7 Rings.
He was making. Somebody was making with the yuck yuck.
If you're going to make comments, try to make them as a sober person. That's all I am suggesting.
Yes. If we understand the comments, it
right,
worked. If
yes.
it doesn't, you were wrong.
Wow. And yeah, there's the only thing worse is being the only sober person in a room full of drunks. JR15, not only is Doc Thompson one of the most affable, or did he say effable, and most willing to help someone out, he's really humble, too. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
There's no way to talk about your humility. There really is not.
We really shouldn't do self-deprecating humor. We're not good at it.
All right, let's just move on. We're live from SHOT Show at the Sands Expo Center in Las Vegas. Joining us now, John from Rescue 22 Foundation. How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Rescue 22, I'm guessing that means rescue the 22 veterans that are estimated to kill themselves every day?
Correct. Yeah, it stands for the statistic that we lose 22 veterans every day to suicide.
Have you ever seen, and I always bring this up too, with other people who have used that statistic, some of them have a name like 22 kill.
Right.
Whatever.
Jake's a friend of the show, too.
That number is likely really low, too.
Yeah.
That they don't even count certain states, and if there was any alcohol involved, which I got to believe if you're killing yourself, there's probably going to be alcohol involved,
Absolutely.
with a lot of people.
You're self-medicating.
So that is likely the lowest average number. It's tragic. We've spent a lot of time doing what we can to try to help out veterans. We got a big tour coming up that we're going to kick off around Memorial Day. Any way to get veterans any additional help, especially those that do not involve medication and just trying to drug them up with 50 different things we're big fans of. So I'm guessing you have some sort of plan?
Yes. So at Rescue 22, we take rescue dogs and we train them to be ESA, which is an emotional support dog, a service dog, or a companion dog for veterans.
What's the difference between those three?
Oh, great question. So a service dog is an actual dog that's been trained to provide an actual task. So per the ADA rules, if your dog has been trained to help with a task that aids in your actual disability.
So you need them to lean on because you have lost a limb or something like that, or fetch you something.
Correct. There's a lot of different variations of that. So for mobility purposes, so there's physical ones. There's also, for PTSD, there are dogs that are trained to intervene in a PTSD attack if people actually have flashbacks and things like that. So
because I was thinking most of them would actually be physical versus mental. That's not the case. There are some mental also for service dog. Okay,
correct.
Got you.
Correct. And currently right now we're training a dog for a quadriplegic. So that's a lot of those injuries is really easy to see.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you see veterans that are walking around. They have 2 legs, 2 arms, and people don't understand it because they just think they just have a pet with them or something. But a lot of these dogs do provide a huge value to them, and some of them are trained to get them out of a crowded area if they have an anxiety attack, things like that. They can do things that can actually block a crowd away from them if they start to get really, really anxious, things like that. Really all the different tasks that you can train a dog to do is really limited by, the imagination of the trainers.
Yeah.
And
so that's the service dog.
Yes.
Okay, and then you have the support dog, which is more like emotional support. Is that what you mean?
Correct. So an ESA dog, an emotional support dog, is just having the dog itself provides value to the person, meaning that, if it just the dog's presence is calming them down and keeping them grounded and things like that, that's an ESA dog. And then a companion dog is basically just a pet.
Okay.
So, all 3 different categories, provide a value to a veteran on some level, and different dogs for different jobs. So,
yeah, it's funny. Unfortunately, emotional support, pet or animal, they've gotten a bum rap because, and it's true. I mean, there are veterans I've known that get great help. I mean, calming them down, like you said. But unfortunately, you got some lady who just loves their peacock and wants to travel cheaply with it on an airline and claims they've abused it. And it does a disservice to people who, and it's not just veterans. I mean, there are some children with diseases or like autism or something. It helps them out. These really help. But you just not wanting to pay to ship your pet underneath in a cargo or something like that does not mean it's an emotional support animal.
Absolutely, yeah. There's been a lot of that, and I really think a lot of it is due to lack of education. People just hear the term, emotional support animal, and they just like, oh, you know what? I'll just make my dog an emotional support animal. I mean, why not? It sounds like a great idea.
Or little snowflakes on college campuses that are like, well, it's during midterms, and we need to come out and pet a pet, pet a dog to make sure I can get through. Please do what the rest of us do. A bunch of no-dos and liquor.
Whatever it takes.
Was I editorializing?
I don't know.
Okay, very good, very good.
Move on.
So, Rescue 22 Foundation. How does it work though? So you've got those dogs. So can anybody just call you and say, "Hey, we need help"? And can anybody help you rescue pets? I'm sure you need donations.
So currently, we're looking for sponsorships, commitments from companies. We already have a lot of companies are jumping on board to really help with our program. We got Wawa, we got TD Bank. Numerous other companies are jumping on board.
You're killing me with the Wawa.
I know.
I'm more of a Sheets fan, but now Wawa's moving up the list, right?
You see what it does? You start getting involved with awesome nonprofits, and people start buying your sandwiches.
See, that's what it is. That's how it happens.
So, hey, Subway. Hope
that's right. So, but, I mean, when you're talking like full-service dog in that's expensive to train, right?
Correct. So, really, the price really does reflect the amount of time it takes to train these dogs.
It can be like $20,000, right?
Absolutely. So,
wow.
We actually say it costs about $22,000. And yeah,
gotcha, yeah.
But you know what? It really depends on what service you're.
Whoop, sorry about that. That was my fault.
No worries. But it really depends on the skills and the training you're putting into the dog. So every dog is different. But for Rescue 22, we say, hey, it costs an average about $22,000 a dog.
So corporate sponsorships, or people can, and I imagine they could keep it pretty similar. Say, we're going to do a dog, or we'll give you a certain amount of money, or something like that. Every little bit's probably helping. What about the average person? If they're just listening, they're like, I can't give you $22,000. Maybe I can pitch in $400 or $20.
Absolutely.
Right?
So if they go to rescue22foundation.org, we have a donation page right there. So you can really donate on any level.
Okay, good.
So we're not going to turn away a dollar. So every 90 cents of pretty much every dollar goes towards the veteran in the program for the dog.
How long have you guys been around?
We've been around since, actually, we've only been incorporated for about 6 months. We got our 501c3 in almost record time, just due to the fact that we have a great team with a lot of experience.
Good.
This is something I could never have pulled off by myself. I'm just, a dumb former team guy that knows how to train dogs.
Rescue 22, and it's the number 22, not written out. Rescue22foundation.org.
Correct.
You're Florida?
So we have a campus in Florida. We have a campus in L.A., which is where I am. So we have a presence on the East Coast and the West Coast.
There's a lot of veterans in Florida.
Absolutely.
Holy moly, there's a lot of veterans down there.
Yeah.
Obviously all over the country, but certainly Florida's going to. And there's a lot of crazy people in Florida, too.
Yes.
So that's going to
Yes,
help you
there
out as well. A lot of the crazy whatever. So what's your next goal? Just to keep trying to secure additional funding to try to grow?
Absolutely that. We want to be able to secure enough funding to build a facility, to really be able to make something that, veterans can come to and not only get, dog training, but come together as a group and kind of go through this together.
Okay, so yeah, you could really bring your cost down from a business side of things. If you're building a facility, you do it right. So, right, the price per dog then 100%. Would come down significantly. And then what about the person who may need it? Or you got a friend who you think could use it, or you're a veteran, you're like, listen, I could really use an emotional support pet. What, they just contact you?
Absolutely. So you can go to our webpage, rescue22foundation.org. We have an application process you can go through. We do screen, all the veterans and whatnot. We screen them, but it's a pretty simple, straightforward application process.
So we're kicking off our 50 State in 50 Days tour on Memorial Day weekend. We'll broadcast all 50 states in 50 days, which is grueling. So we broadcast, pick up, go.
Because who wouldn't want to spend 50 days with these guys on a bus?
But here's the thing: Los Angeles is in a state, and so is Bradenton. They're both in states. So we could be in those states. Actually, we pick up our bus on day one outside of Los Angeles. So regardless if you guys officially can join us on that or whatever, we'll certainly help you fundraise throughout this too. So I mean,
Awesome.
just keep in touch with us. Let us know. We'll mention you. We'll bring you on from time to time to remind people. Put you on social media. What you're doing is one example of what we all should be doing when it comes to veterans. Finding those other ways to treat veterans, what helps them. And there's a bunch of different things. I mean, there's, the hyperbolic chambers. There's all kinds of stuff. But this is one we know works. We've seen this before. So awesome. Rescue22foundation.org. John, thanks, buddy. Appreciate
Thank you very much.
it.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you
me
joining
on.
us.
Thank you.
Rescue22foundation.org. Be a great thing that you could do and help out. Thanks,
And
guys.
I've already posted links on Facebook.
Good deal.
Over on your page, and so it's everywhere.
Now, if you want to help yourself out, I can help you with that as well.
I always like to
Because
help myself out.
I don't know how to easily say this, but I've been very gassy today.
Well, there is that.
I'm not
yes.
joking. I'm not doing this for the commercial. It's like but it's that gas that's trapped up underneath my rib cage, and
You
ever
know
get
that comes with
where it
age.
feels-
Yeah.
where it feels like it's up underneath there, and you're like,
actually.
So if you're watching on camera, you see me keep shifting, and I'm like,
It's funny you mention that because last night as I was laying on my side, I had the same thing. It was
it's like right.
ow.
Yeah, I
I
hope
don't-
it's that and not my heart.
That's on the other side.
It was on this side.
Oh,
that's my heart
Oh,
side.
so on the other side.
Doesn't move, does it?
I think it
Doesn't
does. I
shift
think it's much like the Earth around the sun. Your heart moves around inside your chest cavity.
Anyways, yeah, I've had that. And a lot of people have, in fact, a number of people that you find out that has irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes.
I know a lot of people have irritable syndrome.
Yes.
That's very, I mean, look around. I mean, virtually everybody I know. But irritable bowel syndrome and different digestive problems. Try Otron Teal at lovemytummy.com. This is a new product. This is so cool when I met with these guys.
Right.
Brand new tech. Here's the funny thing. Some of the tech they've been working on with this came about because of the Riduzone folks.
Oh, did it really?
They're
I did
actually,
not know this. I wasn't on the meeting.
They're actually working with the Riduzone folks to end up coming up with a kind of an overlapping dual type product or whatever.
Right.
But it really targets that gut health. Gut health. That's what. So the guy sits down. We're sitting outside our studio there in our little, the chairs that are
in the conference room. Yeah.
And we're sitting down there, and the guy goes, "Let me tell you about the product." And I go, "Okay, great." He starts telling me about it, and he mentions a couple of buzz phrases: the digestive health,
right,
and he mentions sugar and how much damage.
Yeah.
Well, these are two of my hot buttons now when it comes to health. So the guy thought I was crazy, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes!" And I jump up, and he's like, "Really, dude? I'm just telling you about
You were the
Otron Teal."
Dude, it's not
He's
that
like,
exciting.
Yeah, I know. He's like, it's a great product, but
you're over the top.
He's got to be thinking, okay, this guy is scamming me. He's not really. He's just trying to sell me, so I'll buy airtime. Or he's like, he's crazy.
No one gets this excited over sugar.
I know. He's like, and gut health. Nobody
no.
cares that much about
No.
it. But it's funny. I keep finding these stories. And it all clicked for me when it comes to health and that stuff,
Even
right?
like, didn't they link depression to gut health
It's
too?
all linked to it.
It's crazy.
Heart disease.
Yeah.
Linked to your stomach.
Yes.
What?
It's all the crap that we eat.
It actually comes from, they found out the plaque and then the tartar in your teeth or whatever.
Right.
That stuff causes heart disease.
Good on fish, not good on your teeth.
Tartar?
Tartar.
Yes, exactly.
That's the sauce. Sorry. I conflated the two.
Ooh, that's kind of disgusting.
Yeah,
but
it really is.
It actually causes heart disease. It causes all kinds of heart problems.
It's
legitimately.
bizarre. Yes, these are all things that we should pay more attention
The
to.
problem is you're swallowing that all the time in your
Yep.
spit. So that's the reason you brush. The stuff grows every time you eat anything, right? In your spit. So all of that's gut health. So you take care of your gut health. Your side, you're kind of sidestepping it or whatever. But that's just one part of it. You got to see how the whole thing works. I don't get all the science, but he was like, this guy's funning me here. This guy's effing with me. I know it.
And the beauty of it, you don't have to remember how to spell their name.
No, because I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it right.
I think it's Otron Teal.
Apparently, that's they're not just partnering with Riduzone on the products. Apparently, their marketing team is also partnering with them because, I don't get Otron. It sounds like French.
It does sound French.
I had to ask Matlock. That's how desperate I was.
See?
Matlock can't pronounce anything right.
No.
He gets every name
He doesn't
wrong.
even get his own name right.
He's like, President Trump is. It's all. He's not getting all of them wrong.
You just have to go to Love My Tummy.
That's the beauty of it.
LoveMyTummy.com if you suffer from IBS or any other digestive issues. This stuff is amazing. I've been taking it.
Try it. Lovemytummy.com. Scott Hughes is joining us now. How are you, sir?
Good to be back.
Good to be back.
I like it how you pronounce Matlock's name like Matlock.
I
like
do that
Andy Griffith.
purposely.
Yeah,
because
that's good.
He's really on the same emotional level as a guy who has been dead for 10 years
Which is
and
a good
played a character
tie-in.
in the 80s.
Because you guys are talking about potty humor, kind of, digestive, and then
Right.
Matlock.
Matlock.
Yeah, I love that. I'm totally gonna,
We would never sing so low as to potty
Doc,
humor.
You're looking good. You got the beard. You're in full shot show mode.
lazy.
Just for the listeners
That's
that don't
right.
know, Doc is in full post veteran. When we transition, we're like, I'm growing. People now like you look like Chuck Norris. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you do! I had thought about that.
Oh, come on.
Just
I
a
get
bit.
it. That's.
I mean, a little bit younger.
I think even Chris said that about me one time. So
You know what's funny? He's a very quiet guy. Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Oh,
I
very.
did when we were in Birmingham. I drove him to the church. Very quiet guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't say
but
anything.
a great veteran supporter.
Oh,
too.
yes,
so,
absolutely.
Hey, Carlos, if you're listening, good morning. Veterans
And
from Shot Show.
very
Love you.
reserved when you go up and keep poking him in the chest, going, "Hey,
Right?
tough guy."
Yeah.
He doesn't slug
Are
you right off.
Show me how you're tougher than water. Show me how water's afraid of you.
Exactly.
Ow.
Echo in Ramadi is Scott's book, the firsthand story of U.S. Marines in Iraq's deadliest city. And we've talked to you about this story before, but for those that don't remember, give us the thumbnail sketch of what happened.
It's a really amazing story. I think when I first started telling people a year ago when I was doing pre-launch here at SHOT Show, it was about the fighting and the friction and the brotherhood. But, it's really transformed over this year of all the people I've met and the emails. And it's really about the people, these amazing Marines and soldiers and families, some of whom are here at SHOT Show, bringing their copies of the book to me.
Oh, yeah.
The bloody streets of Ramadi that we fought on, Doc, are really just a backdrop now to this amazing story about people. And I really tell people that the core message is the power of human connection. That's what this book has transformed into, I think, because it's reached so many people unintentionally. I think I didn't do this in some catharsis and pour my guts out into this book, but it was an important story that needed to be told. And it's since been a bestseller 4 times, and
it's amazing.
We're in a 3rd printing, and we go to paperback October this year, so it'll be out in paperback.
It's a great name, too. It really is.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it, especially if you're talking about all of the people that are involved, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like an Echo itself, right?
It is. There are some play on words there, Echo and Ramadi, but our company was Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, and, there's some echoes that resonate.
It's a better name than Otrantel.
Yeah.
Otrantil.
It is. Yeah, Otrantil. Yes, you should probably say the name right. Yeah. Just say it.
Yeah. So it's been good though, and I'm happy to be back at SHOT Show because one of the products that I mentioned in the book was Wiley X, and I just meet these guys and I say, like many, hey, I mentioned your product in the book, not like product placement, just because it was important. I said your gear probably helped save the eyesight and lives of my Marines, and I felt that was important. These guys did like a 3-day book promo when we launched last February.
Cool.
800,000 followers on social media. Boom, there's my book cover. Boom. And these
that's
guys
really cool.
have made me an ambassador of Wiley X, and I love wearing their kit, and they are great veteran supporters up in Livermore, California, Wiley X. So
that's
thanks,
really
guys.
cool.
Yeah, to the whole team there. They're awesome.
So what's next for you? Is Echo and Ramadi 2? The making of Echo and the writing of.
Well,
watch me type.
Interestingly,
The movie?
I'm working on a second book and about another great story of military heroics about the first wounded warrior to ever command an entire battalion of wounded warriors, and his attack helicopter was shot down 14 years before he took command. But closest gator to the boat for me, I'm working on a full-length feature documentary with a good friend who I met here in Vegas, a Vegas boy, as he likes to call himself, Anthony Zucker, or Mr. CSI, as many know him. He created CSI.
Is it?
Oh, really?
Is it on Echo and Ramadi?
Or
are you branching in a different direction?
Yeah, it's tied loosely to the story of my experiences, but I don't want to give away too much. But
is it erotica?
It's not
Is that
erotica.
the difference? That's
No,
the change.
it's
Okay.
softer than that.
He could
Much
tell you, but then
softer.
he'd have to kill
you. Yeah, it's way softer than that.
That's real cool, though. The documentary, that's a different animal with it, though. I mean, you got a lot of other things to consider. I mean, being an author, it's theater of the mind. So you're really telling your account of it. When you start putting it on film, it changes things a bit.
Yeah, and it's important to me as an artist, too, and as a veteran that I'm sharing the stories in a way that you understand it. The guy that gives me my Starbucks coffee understands what really happened over there and how it affected not just the U.S. forces, but the people.
That's it. So there's the key. I mean, obviously, I'm guessing you're a capitalist. Making money's good. That's fine too.
Absolutely.
And obviously, telling your story as an artist, there's a level of expression. But what other takeaways? What does the audience get where you're like, okay, I understand why I need to know this story, aside from the entertainment value?
I think the going in position is really just to ask one fundamental question: is did we make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
And that answer could go a lot of different ways, from the macro to the micro, from the political to the strategic, operational, tactical, to the human level. And to answer that question as a military, with everything we have going on in the news, it was back on the main stage in mainstream media with the withdrawal of ISIS in that region, and you guys are tracking that. I hear you guys talking about it. So it's at the forefront. I think there's still a lot of questions. You've asked me this question. Plenty of people have, what is winning? What is victory?
Yeah.
And we still have never defined that. And I was shocked when I heard our president during the midterms, he got grilled out. He's getting ironed out by this Sky News reporter or something. She's like, "Excuse me, Mr. President, so you took a loss during the midterms." He goes, "Well, I wouldn't call it a loss. We had a victory." And she said, "Well, it wasn't a victory." He goes, "Well, it was kind of sort of a victory."
Right.
And I paused, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like it gets too political, but it's. I'm like, there's no such thing as a kind of sort of victory. You either win or you lose. There's winners and losers.
It's like being a little pregnant.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So to hear the president say that, how that trickles down to the individual soldier, Marine, who is really trying to validate, did we win? In this long war that we're still fighting.
Right. Well, and so you got Iraq and Afghanistan. So automatically there's confusion from day one. Right.
Yes.
You've got that. Then you've got other engagements in other places around the world on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Some of the enemies are the same. Some of them overlap. Then you get in different tribes, movements with Muslim Brotherhood, and all these different groups that pop up. I mean, it's really confusing to keep track over the course of 20 years.
Did we win in Vietnam?
Right. See, we started.
Did we not?
Yeah, we started talking about Vietnam right off because of the Nathan Phillips. Who was out there in D.C. banging the drum, the Native American guy, who we find out is a Vietnam era veteran. See the difference
Would
there.
you consider that stolen valor if he was never deployed to Vietnam?
If he led people to believe he was a combat veteran in Vietnam, is that stolen valor?
If you wear the ball cap that just says Vietnam vet, I'm gonna have to get a ruling on that one from my Vietnam vet association.
See, I'd
love to know.
I think you need any kind of. That's not something a guy like me would walk around and.
But I mean, it's certainly. I mean, it's a little, at very least, a little douchey, right?
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it like an 8 on the D-bag factor. Okay. That's a good scale, by the way.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Doc's, he's got a pocket full of this stuff.
I'm on it, man. I'm
Not
ready
even
to go.
8 o'clock in the morning. Doc's got it go. Man, I love this show.
Well, we've been drinking.
Yeah.
Right.
All night.
But yeah, so the same thing is when it comes to what does it look like? What does victory look like?
Yeah,
that's
you're right. It's such a dynamic comparison between Iraq, Afghanistan, even northwest on the Syrian border. But H.R. McMaster, who's at the Nixon Library recently, we were having a panel discussion, and we're chatting on the side, and he said it best. He goes, Afghanistan, it's never going to be a Switzerland. Like, what are we thinking we're going to get out of this place? So we ask ourselves a lot of those questions, like, what does being over there really do for our national security here in the United States, surrounded by everything we do here and these protectors and first responders and
lithium batteries.
Yeah, lithium batteries. A lot of silver export out of there. I don't think
will never be.
Well, I mean, we didn't learn.
You're like the third person that's educated me on that. I keep forgetting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we should have learned the lesson from Russia first of all, right? And their years in Afghanistan as well.
Why does everybody want to be in Afghanistan?
The argument early on was, okay, we can fight them here or we can fight them over there. Okay, I get some of that, but that still seemed very.
It's follow the money.
Two-dimensional.
That's where the answer usually
Either
is.
or. I mean, weren't there other options to fight them over there, more of a containment or whatever? I mean, there's.
Well, my whole thing is just be good students of our history from World War II when we left forces in the European Rim, in European theater, Pacific Rim. It just provides this regional stability. And in the Middle East, especially the culture, the guy with the biggest stick wins. Guy with the biggest gun wins. So
I like it. Scott Hughes and Echo and Ramadi. Pick up a cut today, Scott.
Doc
Always
Thompson,
a great
you
time
guys
talking to you,
are
buddy.
great.
Thanks so much.
Semper Fi.
Watch these guys over here because they're already eyeballing your wallet. The book's a success. He doesn't need to advertise it. He's already made it.
Buy it on Amazon today.
high capacity, fully automatic, large caliber freedom. MoJo 50. The Daily Mojo.
Live from SHOT Show at the Sands Expo Center in Las Vegas, Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs. What's this guy's name?
That's Ron.
Ron
Phillips.
Ron Phillips. Ron
Yes.
Phillips. That's
Ron
right. I
Phillips.
remember the cousin of Nathan Phillips.
I don't think they're
the guy banging the drum out there.
Don't
So
think
I
they're
think he'd be
related.
calling his cousin and kind of
No.
cleaning him up on that. But oh well.
No.
Bill's joining us now from Project Child Safe. Now, I don't know about your organization, but I'm guessing it has something to do with children and them being safe, and it's some sort of project. Is that?
He is a genius. He's a genius.
That's why you're the professional you are.
Bill's like, perfect, run
Right?
with it.
Yes. Whatever it takes.
Tell us about the organization, Bill.
Well, thanks. Project Child Safe is a program of the National Shooting Sports Foundation. It was started in 1999, and it is the firearms industry's gun safety program.
We saw it at the airport. We saw you got the big banners at the airport.
Yes, we were not shy about placing ads at the airport.
No, you
Well,
weren't. You had every banner at
Yes,
every
we did.
baggage claim.
Well, when we first saw it, we saw the Project Child Safe, first of all, and we didn't see the details of who was sponsoring it. So my red flag instantly, red flags go up, and I go, is this some sort of anti-gun thing targeting everybody
Right.
that's coming through? It turns out it's not. It's about responsible gun ownership.
That's right. It's a firearm safety program by gun owners for gun owners. And as I said, the industry's been running it for, well, this is our 20th anniversary this year.
See, there's this misconception by people that are anti-gun that gun owners are irresponsible, want people to get hurt, don't care about children, and none of that. They are the most responsible, more responsible with guns.
That's right. And if anybody can be an effective voice on promoting gun safety, it's gun owners and the firearms industry.
So what type of things do you do with Project Child Safe?
Sure. It's really, we work on two fronts. First is we provide free basic firearm safety information and educational resources for gun owners all across the country. It's all on our website. We have, everything from safe handling and, how to carry a gun safely. But, we put a real emphasis on what we call storing firearms responsibly when they're not in use. Firearms in the home, if they're left unsecured and loaded, that's an accident waiting to happen. And so we're working to prevent that. And so to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak, the second element of the program is we provide free gun locks for anyone who wants one. We've been doing this for 20 years. We've given away 38 million gun locks since we started this program.
I had no idea.
No, I didn't either.
That's that. I mean, education is great. That's wonderful, and you can do a lot with outreach, educating people and children. But if you're saying, we're going to go ahead and actually pony money up for gun locks, that's pretty powerful.
Yep.
Okay, this thought occurred to me. What you teach now used to be called common sense.
Right. Right.
What happened?
Well, I think part of the problem is, almost ironically, is the rules of gun safety have been around since gunpowder was invented. They don't change, and I think because of that, because they're so common sense and commonplace, it's easy to get lackadaisical about them, and I think that's why accidents happen.
Yeah, I guess so, because you do see on occasion some stories about the guy who's owned a gun forever and cleaning it and whatever.
Right.
And he skipped step 3.
You get sloppy.
Right, you do. You're watching TV, whatever. So you do have to be reminded, stop. I was reminded of that when the guy was doing the space jump. He had somebody in his ear telling him, jumping, okay, step 3, take your seatbelt, that sort of thing. Because when your life is at stake, and that's the same way you should be around a weapon.
That's absolutely right.
Common sense, take it step by step, don't rush.
Right.
How is Project Child Safe received outside of the gun community? Because I'm guessing in the gun community, we know people love it.
Yep. Actually, we did a poll a few years ago, and it didn't matter if you were male, female, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Democrat, Republican, gun owner, non-gun owner. 80% of people thought this was a fantastic program, so we're happy to keep pushing it forward.
Do they get who it's being sponsored by, and do they understand? Do they see it as? Because I could hear the claim, "Oh, you're just marketing, trying to clean up your act because you people don't care." I mean, that they would see it as being window dressing.
They may, but in that case, I just point to the results. Again, we've been doing this for 20 years. It's not like we just started this program. And in that time, if you just look at the data from the National Safety Council, the number of fatal firearms accidents is actually at historic lows. So this program is working. And so call it what you want. The fact of the matter is lives are being saved.
Good.
You're located in Newtown?
I was just looking at that, and
I just looked at your badge, and I was like, Project Child Safe, Newtown, Connecticut.
Well,
Newtown,
as a program of the National Shooting Sports Foundation, that's where NSSF is headquarters in Newtown, Connecticut. Yeah.
Has it always been? I mean,
that's where it's always been. Yep.
Wow, that had to be an interesting day, right?
You can
for you guys in particular. I mean,
only imagine. Yeah, horrible day, and it's one of the things where if that kid, if that gun had been properly stored by the kid's parent, that whole situation may have never happened.
We're talking with Bill from Project Child Safe, but I do want to bring in our buddy Mike Opelka, who's here as well, because I know he likely has some questions. I know you like projects.
If you've been paying
and,
attention, you'd have a question.
Safe.
I am a supporter of this project. I am a donor of this project.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, for 5 years now. Every time I come to SHOT Show.
Where were you the previous 15?
4 years. Prison. No, I was ignorant. I was not a SHOT Show attendee until recently. And when you sign up, they send you a little flyer that says, hey, this is a good idea. And when you read it, you go, duh.
Right.
So throw them some shekels. You can throw them $10. And it will go a long way, especially with 70,000 people here. So great work, God's work, smart work. And it counteracts the hoplophobia out there. You're aware of hoplophobia, aren't you, Bill?
You got me flat-footed on that one.
I call it gunophobia, but the technical term,
hoplophobia. Irrational fear of guns. And just being smart, it's so easy to do. So, yeah, good work for you. Thank you.
Yeah, so how can people donate? I'm assuming people can donate?
People can donate. There's a big donate button right there on our website, which is projectchildsafe.org. And, like $10 you mentioned, like, these locks cost us about $2, and so every $2 we say puts another lock in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, five locks you can get with a $10 donation, unless you're using it to buy like airplanes and things.
That makes sense.
I don't think
giving $2 a lock.
Yeah.
Times 5 would equal 10. Yeah, that's right.
So you're saying that would be better than going down and putting $2 on the blackjack table?
Or
where can you do that around here?
In the Wheel of Fortune machine.
All right, Bill.
Think of a number.
Again, it's Project Child Safe, and what's the website?
ProjectChildSafe.org.
It's .org, and we'll go ahead and post it on social media. But thanks, buddy. Thanks for everything you're doing. We'll keep promoting it.
Thank you.
Keep in touch with us, and we'll do everything we can to help promote it.
Thanks,
Bill. Appreciate it. All right, got to remind you about Era Capital Management.
Oh, I thought you were going to remind them to change their socks today.
No. Era Capital Management.
Yeah.
Is your capital being managed?
Yes, it is. Thanks for asking.
It is?
It is.
You look like somebody who makes sure their capital is being managed.
I am all over the management of the capital, but I need to know about these guys.
Yeah, these guys are real good. They support our platform, and Jacob has supported this show even before we had our own little platform, whatever. Really good guys. They get it. They whenever anyone considers advertising in this platform, I'm like, you realize, of course, who we are and what we do. We make with the yuck yucks, and sometimes it's edgy yuck yucks. And we say some things that would trigger some people. And he's like, yeah, what you guys want. I said, and sometimes we're going to mock you and your product. But it's not saying that it's not doing a good job. It's just like the name. Like
How did you ever get a girl?
I was going to say, that's when he started questioning his investment.
It's low the
like
expectations.
You in a
Mike.
bar. I'm looking at you right now, and I'm going to try something a little bit later.
And by the way, you're not going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're going to be disappointed.
But you should pay me for it.
It worked for the guy in A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, that's
I just have to
right.
know what words I have to say to you to get you in the sack.
So like Riduzone, it's not a good name.
No.
It's not. I mean,
But you remember
but
it now.
it works. The product's awesome.
Yeah.
So Era Capital Management guys do a great job. He takes the emotional part. Here's the shocking thing when people invest. There should be very little emotion in investing. It's math. It's numbers.
Right.
And while you can ride trends and stuff, sure, but the markets are incredibly emotional. It's crazy.
Well, they are affected by emotions more than anything, and the people who stay out of emotions and do it based on the numbers, they're the ones who are shoveling cash into their accounts.
That's it. That's the key. So that's our approach at Era Capital Management. Contact them today at eracapitalmanagement.com. If you have an old 401k somewhere, this is something they specialize in as well. They'll help you transfer that over. It's real easy, and you can start growing your portfolio. It doesn't matter where you're at on the investment scale as far as your age goes.
Right.
If you're young, you got to start putting some money away now. You'll be so happy you did. Once you just accept it, 10, 20, 50, 100 bucks a month,
Best time
whatever
to
it is.
plant that oak tree was 20 years ago.
You know the next best time?
19 years ago.
364 days. That's exactly it. And so on and so forth. Or if you're a little further down that retirement road, a little closer to it than some of
I don't know why you're looking. I don't know why you're looking at Opelka.
I'm not looking at anybody. Still contact them because they'll also tell you what you need to do to make sure you're secure in your later years. It's eracapitalmanagement.com. That's eracapitalmanagement.com.
Era Capital Management LLC is a registered investment advisor. Era Capital Management LLC provides fee-only portfolio management. The advisor may not transact business in states where it is not appropriately registered, excluded, or exempted from registration. Keep in mind that investing involves risk. The value of your investment will fluctuate over time. You may gain or lose money. No strategy can assure success and is not guaranteed. EraCapitalManagement.com.
Everybody in their life should have the pleasure of spending a couple of hours with Mike Opelka.
Yes. Pleasure?
Everybody in their life should have to
spend
hours. Yes. It's like a game when I'm around Mike. I bring things up because I know he's going to have a story. There's going to be something about it. Doesn't matter what it is.
There's already 2 stories from SHOT Show.
I could say something like, I'm building a cedar closet. And Mike's going to go, cedar closet?
Cedar closet.
My uncle
invented
worked for
cedar.
the largest cedar closet manufacturer, and he was a partner of Albert Einstein. But you don't understand. And this whole backstory. Now, he interviewed Mr. Cedar. I mean, the whole thing, which I love about him. It's fantastic.
He makes it up.
Last night we're walking down the street, Las Vegas Boulevard, the Strip. Ron was with us, Beth, hanging out. And Mike is talking to us, and he passes a young gentleman.
Oh, yeah. African-American gentleman.
Yes, a young black gentleman who was very friendly with us. He was chatting with us as we walked by. And Mike, the guy was like a step or two over from us, and we were all kind of walking together. And we're chatting with him back and forth. Well, Mike broke from the herd.
That's unusual.
Walked up next to the gentleman and began to converse with him a little more closely and kind of arm around him type of thing, walking down the street. And I hear him say, and this is the end of what I hear him say of a much larger conversation, which I want to find out what that was.
Right.
I hear him say, where are we at on this whole hard R thing? Where are we at on this? Versus the soft R.
Right.
A or R at the end of, an edgy word some people sign. And you guys had a nice conversation, but I never got the full what happened.
Well, it's one of those things that the difference between neighbor and neighbor.
Neighbor.
Right. Hello, my neighbor.
Hey, neighbor.
What's up, my neighbor?
It's like ninja or
the
ninja.
The sheriff is near.
Yes, very much so. So I'm curious about this because I am a free speech guy. You know my license plate after the First Amendment, everything else is toast. And so I will fight for speech. And the lockup around the N-word bothers me. I think it's really wrong. I understand it's offensive. I'm not a guy who uses it. It's like I don't use the C word.
Christian?
Yeah, that too.
Wow.
Charisma.
Have you ever seen one?
But so it just bothered me. And so I saw this young man, dreadlocked young man with a backpack walking briskly down the Las Vegas Boulevard. And I said, excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a question from an old white guy? And he immediately looked at me and he was kind of like, oh, where is this going?
This is not good.
And I said, we've been talking about the hard R and the N word.
Did he understand hard R?
Oh, he knew it immediately. It's a cultural thing that's I think it's 100% accepted knowledge.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I mean, I know in the R versus the A at the end of it,
Yeah.
but the way you termed it, he got it pretty quick.
Instantly. He looked at me and I said, is it ever appropriate to use the word without the hard R? And not a blink. He goes, never, never, never. We can use it. You can't use it. And I said, I'm a speech guy, and I respect your opinion because I know it's going to make you angry if I use it, but that bothers me. And he said, too bad. Which I thought was really interesting. But
at least he's being honest. Good for him.
Being very honest. But it's one of those things that, because I had backup, if it's just me walking down the street, I probably wouldn't have asked the guy.
Backup from who?
You two bobos.
They back up from me.
Okay, Beth.
I'm running. What are you? Beth will throw down, kick some ass. But
Yeah.
I'm not going down. You're looking at the wrong cat.
Yeah, so that was incident number 1. Yes, actually, it was like incident number 17 yesterday. But I didn't tell you about my arrival here.
No.
Because I got here late Monday, jumped in a cab at the airport, and started barreling over to the hotel, hoping to catch up to you guys. I didn't. But the cab driver instantly goes, "Business or pleasure? What are you here for?" And I said, business. And he goes, "All right, let me guess." And he looks at me and he goes, AVN. AVN, you're here for the Adult Video Awards.
Is that what he said?
I said, I started laughing.
Wow.
I said,
wait, did you have that same black turtleneck on?
No, I had.
Okay, because you do look a little creepy with that one.
I could see that with this. And I said, how did you know? I'm laughing. And I go, how did you know you got in the first guess? And he goes, really? I said, perhaps you remember the kidnap fantasy film from the 70s called The Big Snatch.
I don't recall that one. It sounds fantastic. Huh?
And he goes, no, I don't know about that.
Were you the
one.
key grip?
No, never mind. And then he goes,
let me guess. At that point, he goes, where are we at on the whole hard F? Let me ask you. Somebody outside the industry.
But the guy's looking at me, he goes, really? I go, yeah, I'm a bit of a legend. I don't want to brag, but remember the Warren Beatty movie, Shampoo? And he goes, yeah, he's an older gentleman. I said, well, I was a key element, a driving creative force behind Blow Dry, the movie Warren Beatty was afraid to make. That was the subtitle. And this guy's eating it all up. And he goes, seriously, you're a producer? I'm like,
no, he didn't. Did he pitch it? Did he sell you on a film?
Seriously, you're a producer? And I stopped him right there. I said, no, I'm a performer. Like I said, I'm a bit of a legend.
But I've always wanted to direct.
What I really want to do is direct.
It got very quiet. Very quiet. He goes, well, the hotel you're staying in, that's where the flooring show is happening. I went, what? He goes, yeah, vinyl, tile, everything. There's 25,000 people there. He goes, of course, your show will be a little more interesting.
Wow.
How do I look like I'm in the AVN?
Did he show you any videos?
No.
I got a cousin. Let me show you what she could do.
No, but a friend of mine, I was telling this story to a friend of mine, Jim Stovall, who's a speaker and a blind guy, actually. He and his wife came to Vegas. They got in a cab, and the guy goes, what are you doing? You interested in having a little fun? And
not with a blind guy.
You have to feel your way.
Right.
Well, Jim goes, what do you well, he doesn't advertise that he's blind. He's slightly sighted, sees shadows.
Okay.
And the guy goes, and he hands a plastic laminated card with a bunch of women on it.
That's going to be trouble right there, right?
In the back seat. And he goes, see anything you like? And he hands it to his wife. He goes, honey? And I'm like, Where have we landed?
Now, I understand the plastic laminated could be used to protect it, over time.
Yeah.
But there's also...
Aren't those required to be in Braille also?
I don't know.
But see, the thought is this for immediate or my order?
Right.
Are we in the drive-through?
Will this be delivered in 30 minutes or
Right.
less?
Wow. It's hot and ready. So, my friend, I have a friend. Let's call him
No, you don't.
Brad.
Uh-huh.
Just randomly. His name is Brad.
Tall guy.
Who is collecting the little cards out on the street and get an entire set.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not familiar and you walk down the street in Vegas here, they have you business card size little pictures of half and sometimes fully naked women with phone numbers and web addresses and places you can call to have the service.
Look at that!
delivered.
Look at that! There's a Stormy Daniels rookie card right there.
I'm telling you, I'm hoping I find the one that's worth $25,000.
You get that signed? That's it.
This is my investment plan.
That's
right
his
here.
retirement plan right there. So, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I discuss something serious with
Yes,
you?
of course.
I would hope so.
Can you serious with me? Come on.
Yeah, I know. Brad?
Mm-hmm.
So I get up this morning early, as you know, doing my little radio show in the other place.
Right.
And I was reading 1984 yesterday because I have no life.
Okay.
And
You've read it before.
Yeah.
Good for
yeah.
you. Good for
And I'm
you.
fascinated by how close we're starting to come to this world with all the surveillance, et cetera. And are you aware in part 1, chapter 5, there's actually something that relates directly to the kids from Covington.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wait, chapter 1?
No,
Wait.
part 1, chapter 5.
Let me think what this would.
Well, first of all, what were people saying about the kids from Covington when they saw the video? What did
They should be shot, or they should be doxxed.
But based on what?
Based on them disrespecting a veteran.
They're elders.
What did Reza Aslan, the former CNN host, say that he looked at the image of the young man and he said, "Have you ever seen a more punchable face?"
Right.
Right, and we've heard the word smug, and we've heard all this stuff, the smirk, the whole thing.
I remember who's the main character in 1984? What's his name?
Winston Smith.
Winston Smith, where he talks about wanting to punch the leader, right?
This
is that what you're talking
You're
about?
way off on this, but let me can I give you a little dramatic reading?
Please do.
All right. He did not know how long she had been looking at him, but perhaps for as much as 5 minutes, and it was possible that his features had not been perfectly under control. It was terribly dangerous to let your thoughts wander when you were in any public place or within range of a telescreen. The smallest thing could give you away, a nervous tic, an unconscious look of anxiety, a habit of muttering to yourself, anything that carried with it the suspicion of abnormality, of having something to hide. In any case, to wear an improper expression on your face, to look incredulous when a victory was announced, for example, was itself a punishable offense.
Wow.
There was even a word for it in newspeak. Face crime, it was called.
Oh, wow.
Did you just get a chill?
Yes,
I'm
actually.
just like, whoa.
Wow. Yep.
That is scary.
I just posted the entire clip on the Twitters if you want to read it.
Come on,
we are
Yellowstone.
now
Face crime.
into 1984 almost full scale.
Well, we've had the newspeak, like the verbiage crimes, right? For a while. Now face crime.
Face crime.
That's not the first time we've heard about smirks either and such things.
Yeah, it's the way he looked.
But now it's
the only two hopes we have. Yellowstone erupts. We're attacked by Mars.
The caldera?
Yes.
Yeah,
those are the two final best hopes we have for surviving any of this. Does he have time to tell the fall?
Which fall?
My
His.
fall.
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Please tell your fall before you go. I forgot.
So I'm hanging out with you bobos, walking around the convention and,
Matlock joining us now as well for the Conservative Cartel. He wants to mock you.
I do not want to mock.
Oh,
go ahead and tell
he
your
wants
story
to listen
about
with
these
a microphone.
bobos.
Don't put your little mouth stick down in front of me, you nasty.
Here, let me put it on your lap.
Matlock wants to listen with a microphone.
Right. Yeah.
You know what's weird is when you say his name real fast, I envision Andy Griffith.
What are you
here
talking
in a
about?
wrinkled suit.
What are you talking about?
He was.
No, he was actually an understudy for Andy Griffith on the show Matlock.
A lighting double, I believe.
Key grip.
Fluffer.
How we all?
That's not the image I
Where are we all
needed.
at on the hard F?
The
Never
hard.
mind. Let's just move on.
Okay. So we're walking around the convention center, and we decide you guys are going to do something. I got to go take care of some business. Record. I had an interview to record. So I've got a bag of swag that I got from this this great company over here from California, whose name I've forgotten already. And I've got my phone. And
He's
I'm
a terrible spokesman.
well, they're not paying me yet, but they gave me some
Got
swag.
it.
Wait a minute. What's it say right here?
It says Voodoo Tactical.
Okay, that's them. They
There
gave
you
me the
go.
set. Voodoo Tactical.
There you go.
Nice people. They employ vets who design vests for dogs, bulletproof vests for dogs, and other stuff. So I'm walking out with my swag bag. I've got my phone in one hand, and I'm trying to like expedite. And I cut across one booth, and this one booth has like 1970s shag carpeting that's about 3.5 inches tall, and there's a cable lump in the middle of the booth that I did not see. And I caught a toe. And it was like Brian Boitano doing a toe pick in the Olympics. And they did a triple axel and landed face first on the ground. 2 knees hit initially. Both arms out. My cell phone goes sliding across the aisle a good 40 feet. My glasses are going.
Did anybody get this on film?
I wish so.
It's probably on a security camera, but I hit the ground and I was like, oh, man. And instantly, a gang of millennials and people, Mister, don't get up. Don't get up, sir. Don't move. Do we need to get help? And I'm like, oh,
can you breathe?
Did you press your button? Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Suddenly I'm Mrs. Fletcher here at SHOT Show. And
Sir, can you hear me? Talk louder. He lost his hearing aid too.
Don't try to move.
My glasses were all bent. And you're laying there. You're like, this is the worst. So your instinct is, I gotta pop up. You know, it's like a receiver.
No one saw that.
Jump up.
Show them that hit didn't hurt.
Right.
Yeah. So I pop up, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt tomorrow. And I go home, and I go back to the room, and I'm recording an interview with a doctor for a show we're doing. And I said, Doc, there's a theory that you can tell how long people are going to live by how long it takes them to get up off the floor without using their hands. He goes,
I'm
yeah.
dead tomorrow.
He said, you got to do it in under a minute without using your hands, or we're worried you're going to die in 5 years or less.
That's on the floor, up without your hands.
Up
in 5
without
minutes.
your hands. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh.
But so
Same
I said
as downtown.
I said I can do it. I can do it in under 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And he goes, no,
Show off.
No, you can't. And so he challenged me, and I posted the video this morning.
I saw the proof.
See it.
I saw the proof.
You can get up without using your hands.
Without using your hands.
He's limber.
Can
He's
you
a
use your
limber guy.
elbows?
You have to be crisscross applesauce, sitting with your legs crossed on the floor.
Stop it. It's Indian style.
I know.
Knock it off.
Crisscross
All right, we got to do
applesauce.
this. Hang on. We got to get into this. All righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of your morning blaze. But before, I screwed that one up. a long time ago. You got me.
What?
Damn
Hey,
it.
Skip.
I just put that
Skip,
under
he
the-
screwed it up, Skip.
Damn it.
Again.
Damn it. It's Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. Had I not said anything, you asked. Is what we called it. We learned that I was born in the 70s era, so I'll be 40-esque
No,
this coming
you
year.
won't. You're 107.
We learned that in case of Vegas trouble, if I'm your backup, you're doing it wrong. We
Uh-huh.
learned the soft N is never acceptable from a cracker. And finally, we learned Mike Opalka is moonlighting as a performer of erotica. Bradley Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
Well, I learned that first and foremost, Ron's way to get a pit bull to stop biting you is ironically the same act that'll cost you $20 downtown here in Vegas.
It's also the same way that'll get him to start biting you.
Isn't that the truth? The best way I learned to gain street cred as an 11-year-old is to drive a stolen car to school with your posse.
Yes,
you know what
exactly,
I'm saying?
yes.
And finally, I learned Stunt Brain did finally live up to his name here.
He is a
At
stunt brain.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, at Stunt Brain on Twitter, what, if anything, did you learn today?
Diving at SHOT Show should be best done at the pool.
What, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Let's see. Backyard Cows over in the MeWe chat room learned I will accept a small percentage of the non-essential jobs staying in the hands of government, but overwhelming majority should be handled by the private sector.
Yes, that's
Whoa,
right.
A comment. I think you're missing the point. A comment that made sense from someone in the MeWe chat room.
I know. Bright
They haven't
made
been
sense.
drinking.
Yep.
Wow, that's stunning. And let's see. Oh, Leprechaun, thank you for bringing it back down. Count so far 8 missed bells.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Brad is missing his bell.
I can't find my bell. It's here
Likely
somewhere.
someone lifted his bell at
Right.
SHOT Show.
It's quite.
Oh.
Oh, you found it.
He found it in his
Oh,
luggage.
Great.
I
By
see.
the way, Watson says, learned over in the Facebook chat room here, it's bullcrap. They say you can't use it.
See? That's
See?
right.
And
All right.
Watson-
Hey, we've got our bonus round coming up this
Yes, we
afternoon
do.
from 3 to 5 Eastern time. But stand by. Matlock
we'll be sober
of
for that,
Conservative
maybe.
Cartel will be joining us in just a couple of minutes. What is he going to be talking about?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. That first thing he talks about, you'll want to write it down.
Second thing, don't even. pay
Yeah, I wouldn't
attention.
bother with the
That's
second thing.
horrible.
No,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
All right, I guess that's it. Remember, your Daily Mojo is today a production
Ron.
of Ron
Phillips.
Phillips.
That guy?
That him.
They keep telling me that. Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon.
Wherever you are.
Anya, now. You go home. All right, that's it. Stop it.
Remember next year.
Stop it.
We'll be live from.